Can you hear me? Welcome in, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, everybody? Do I sound too loud or sound good? No dog. How about now? Okay, why aren't you working? Ronsky, you can hear me okay? All right, thank you. Gronsky, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Just want to make sure. Okay, awesome. Great. Thank you, Gronsky. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Barney. Good morning, Norma and beautiful chat. So many things happening lately, without a doubt. Good morning, Groundsky. Good to go. We'll give it a minute or two. Uh, Hope you're all having a great day today. Hope you're having a great one. Carolina Girl, good morning, everyone. At Nursing Home, we'll be listening. You got it, Carolina Girl. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Oh, that coffee tastes good right now. Mm. Just waiting for a couple more people, everybody. Let's get it, everybody. Do me a favor and just click that like, share it to your followers as well. AJ, good morning, DD and Chad. Good to have you, AJ. All right. Al, good morning. Welcome in, Al. Yeah, I don't know if you guys got the notifications or not, But I set them off soon, so I'm hoping YouTube is getting a hold of you guys. Gronsky, please like and share. Let's get this channel to grow, everybody. Uh, all right. Click like and subscribe. If you're a subscriber, become a member, a Devil Pup investigator in the house. I'm doing all right, Gronsky. I'm doing okay. Hope you're all doing good. Without a doubt. All right. So we'll fill everybody in as we go on. So right now, I want to have a conversation about, and I know we've been on the Nolan Wells case. I get that. It's probably because it's somewhat there as far as informative. Not a lot, but at least it's something. But here's the deal. So there was an interview done with one of Nolan's good friends, best friends, whatever you want to call him, in Warren Hudson. And he did an interview. Welcome in, Casey. Welcome in. Thank you for serving our country, Marines, and thank you for sharing the life, learned wisdom. Thank you so much, Casey. Appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much for being here. Please click like and subscribe. Be a Devil Pup member, investigator in the house. So, the one thing I want to talk about today, it's nothing like monumental, but it does speak volume. And it's about the interview that Warren Hudson gave, not too long ago, probably a day and a half ago or so. But I wanted to watch that video, and I wanted you guys to break it down to, to see what made sense when he was talking, what made sense, what didn't make sense. And I'm going to stop it in between to ask you guys some questions, because when I watched this before, some things just stuck out on me, but I don't know if it was just me. So I am going to be asking the channel, I'll be stopping it and asking the channel, what are your thoughts? Do you remember this? Do you remember that? And try to get a little bit more clarity as to the interview. Now, the interview that was given was by another, I guess, streamer, YouTuber, whatnot. And I just didn't understand some of the things, dynamics here. Now, there's been some controversy. I've heard some things about this interviewer. Um, and he goes by the name of Officer Tatum. Now, the reason, a lot of people have mixed feelings is because, well, for a better lack of words, they just don't agree with him. Me, myself, I don't really know anything about him. I just know I got this interview. I wanted to watch this interview. I finally did. And I just want to talk about it and see where you guys are all at. So with that, let's go ahead and do that. When somebody comes in, we'll just fill them in on what we're doing. It looks like Dog's timer on the screen isn't counting down anymore. You all can hear me. As long as you guys can hear me, we're good to go. Please hit the like and share the stream. We are live. All right. So I'm going to play this video. If people come in, just let them know that this is an interview that Warren Hudson had did with Officer Tatum, and we're just trying to go ahead and process it. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, Al, but I just want to go through it so that way you guys can help me and I can help you on what I'm seeing, and you guys can help me on what you're seeing because I don't know, it just something just isn't right. Thank you so much, AJ. Appreciate that. Here we go, everybody. I'm going to play the video.
I've had an opportunity to talk to you about a few things, and the things that you've told me have literally blown my mind. But the world haven't had a chance yet to hear your story, to hear Nolan's story through you, through his friend. And it's not just you, it's a bunch of y'all. But some of the other guys were afraid because of the threats and the violence that's been threatened against their lives and all of the above. But you decided that you wanted to take this bold step and give a statement and
Good
get your
morning,
your
Virginia.
side out here. And I want to start at the very beginning of all of this and ask you, what was your relationship like with Nolan? Who was he to you?
Nolan, I could describe Nolan in a million ways. I mean, Nolan was not just a best friend of me, but he was a brother. I grew up through elementary, middle school, high school, and even our freshman year of college. We talked on the phone all the time. We were really close friends. And I mean, Nolan was like a brother to me. And Nolan lit up every room he walked in. He always had a smile on his face. He always had something good to say. I've never seen Nolan get in an argument with somebody and say bad things about someone. There's a lot of people that talk crap nowadays, and Nolan was never that person. Sweetest soul ever. And I mean, I had a great relationship with Nolan. I've never got in an argument with Nolan. We were super close, and I've never said or will ever have anything bad to say about Nolan Wells.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend.
Okay, so the first question I want to ask you guys, welcome in, Bible, welcome in. The first thing I want to ask is, I've never heard Nolan's mother, Wansley, Miss Wansley, I never heard her say, because Officer Tatum said that he had heard that she had said she really didn't know his friends. Now, did I hear that right? Because I've never heard anything about Miss Wansley saying she never heard of, she didn't know the friends. Contrary, everything I've heard her speak has been saying she absolutely knew all his friends. He liked everybody. She knew his friends. She didn't know per se like a girlfriend or something, but she knew his friends that he hung out with, right? Do I got that right, or do I got that wrong? Barney, you might be on mute. You might be on mute, Barney, because everybody else is hearing me. Try going in. Just tell her to go out and come back in. So let me ask that question again. Did you guys ever hear Miss Wansley, Nolan's mother, say that she didn't know who his friends were? Has anybody heard that? Because I haven't heard that. Dad says, "Wow, as nice of a guy as Nolan was said to be, can't imagine friends not going to his home. I made sure all my kids' friends came over to our house. Our house was a gathering place. Had all their friends' info." Okay, good. Glad it's working, Barney. Warren, drop a clue right there. Never seen him have an argument. Well, didn't he have an argument supposedly at the lake, or maybe he was talking about, or not the lake, but at the island, Horn Island, or was it just you know that? You know what I'm saying? Welcome in, Jeannie. Welcome in. Welcome in, Whiskey. Jean, hello. Dab, hello. Tim, get the cat, Tim.
Got it.
So, what is it? Did you guys ever hear that? Let's get back focused here because I'm wanting to know. No need to mention argument at all unless there has been one, says Oleg. Welcome in, Oleg. Well, in this day and time, I don't know all of my son's friends from school partially because kids don't do sleepovers and stuff like they used to. For safety reasons, I only sent my son to a few select friends' houses too. I was like that too, El. I did the same thing. But let me ask the question one more time because I need you guys to help me out on this because I have never heard Miss Wansley say she did not know his friends. I mean, you're talking about the friends that played most likely baseball, basketball, and most definitely football. Our home was freezer was always full of pizzas, bagel bites, and hot pockets. That is definitely you got to have food when you have these kids over, no doubt. Whiskey, this is just son. Yes, he knows what to say. Did you ever watch Peter Hyatt? Not yet. I'm truly trying to understand this, okay, and I'm trying to process this. My question is, did you guys ever hear Miss Wansley state or comment that she did not know her son's friends as far as his guy friends who play sports with him? Okay. Because I haven't heard that. So that was my first clue, like something's not right because when Officer Tatum stated that, he didn't state it as a fact. He actually stated it like he threw it in, like an underline. And what I mean by that is like he wanted to put that there, but he said it in a way where he said, I have heard that Nolan's mom didn't really know her friends, his friends. And when he says, I have heard, that means he's not saying that it's true, but it's almost like saying she doesn't really know his friends. She really doesn't know anything about you guys that hung out with them day in and day out. You understand what I'm saying? Almost, in my opinion, what I'm gathering is almost like he's trying to minimize that relationship, if you will. Does that make sense to you all? I saw a clip posted somewhere that there was a confrontation with Nolan and someone. I think it was about his phone. Yes, that is true, Caroline. Carolina girl, that is true. Purple's in the house. Hello, Devil Dog. Welcome in, Purple. Click that like and subscribe. Oleg, if his channel is still up, as he has passed now, he thought how to spot leakage in interviews. Can't remember what the profession was called. I have his book. We'll have to dig it out. Hell, he was coached and knew what to say. Oh, look, I'm not even get there. I'm just at the beginning. But I can tell you right now, after watching this interview, in my opinion, I believe that not only was he coached, but he was literally like, he knew what the questions were going to be. And in my opinion, and these were really, really what I would call softball questions. Okay, softball questions, meaning that they weren't hard, they weren't down to the nitty gritty, they were just there. Hello, friend, that type of thing. Hello, friend, that's what I got. But I'm going to go ahead and play it some more. Deb, I feel his parents responsible to know all your kids' friends. I always wanted to let them know they can call on me safe with my house. Absolutely. Likewise. Jeannie, I made our driveway bigger to accommodate the trucks. Hell, Carolina, Barney, my house was the place where all my kids hung out. Parents knew me, my place safe. My door was like revolving door. At times have probably changed. Deb, unless I went to school with my son, there's no way I would know every one of them. And I doubt in high school he'd appreciate that. If they're hanging out outside of school, absolutely, I agree. So my thing is, they're playing sports together. They're doing a lot of things together. They're always together. He calls him his best friend. I highly doubt that the mom, because here's the thing. The question is, have you ever heard his mom, Nolan's mom, Miss Wansley, say she did not know his friends very well? I've never heard it. And if somebody has heard that, please let me know, because I want somebody to fact check me, because I've never heard it. In all the clips and videos that I have watched, I have never heard that. Welcome in, CB. Welcome in. Click that like, everybody. All right, I'm going to play it now.
Friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school. In high school, we hung out most weekdays and every day on the weekend. And I mean, we were never at Nolan's house, which, there's nothing wrong with that. But I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, that's when Nolan and I got really close. It was COVID year, and we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies, and Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd get a Waffle House once a week together, eat, and I mean, we were just super, super close. But his dad would swing by Waffle House, and hang out around us, but never. I was never around Nolan's parents a lot, but I mean, that didn't change our relationship any. Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as, anyone else. So.
And walk me through the day of 4th of July.
Okay, so right there, he says that he did meet his dad once, and he said that he knew them. They were best friends since 8th grade, since the COVID time. and yet he says he knew them. Good morning, Ima. Good morning. Welcome in. He says he knew them. He says he didn't he knew them somewhat, but he never said I never knew them. You understand? Kind of like how Officer Tatum, the interviewer, had made it seem like the mom didn't know any of his friends, but yet he says, "No, I mean, I knew them, and I basically he was aware who they were, right? Am I missing something? That was always my dream to get a job of at a boys' school. That must have been a blessing." Casey, never heard it. Not that time for family to drop names of friends or foes. Okay. I'm a Dreamer says, hello, welcome in, Photon, morning, Photon. We are watching the video of the interview that Warren Hudson had with Officer Tatum. All right, let's get back to it.
Where you guys were all going out.
Right.
This seems like something that I would assume that may have occurred more than just this year.
Yeah, of course.
Was it something that you guys did more than just this year? This is a two-part question. I want to know, is it something that you guys typically did together? That you hang out often in this fashion? And then I want you to then walk me through 4th of July this year when the incident happened.
Okay. Being
Okay. Before we get started on this one, Kentucky Girl says, I'm confused. In interview, he said that Nolan wasn't on his boat going out there. But then when they had to go back, Warren told him to get on the boat. Did I miss something? No, you didn't miss anything, Kentucky. That's the whole point. The inconsistencies of what was said back then to what you're hearing now on this interview. It just doesn't seem like, I know it's the beginning of the interview, but it doesn't seem like things are meshing. And you're right. He apparently told him to get on the boat, that they were leaving, and apparently, and you'll see later what I'm going to be showing, but he says, later that, well, Nolan stayed with the girls, so therefore, we left. Okay. But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good catch right there, Kentucky Girl. Good to see you as well. I'm a dreamer. Barney L. Yes, it was blessing. Not only did I know the kids. Hello, Kentucky. Debbie, there was just something off about this case. A guy like Nolan would not be forgotten, as he seemed so popular, thinking there was a case of jealousy. That's a good point, Deb. That's a good point. I'm a dreamer. This is heartbreaking. Bible, Photon, be right back. All right, let's go ahead and play it, everybody. Let's go ahead and play it.
from the Gulf Coast, there's a boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I, or my family and I, are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed everybody's going out. And that's a known thing. Everybody's trying to get a ride out to Horn Island, or, people go to Ship Island, but most of everybody from Ocean Springs and the Gulf Coast
Good morning, Kentucky.
go to Horn Island. And, we went last year. Nolan was on the boat with me last year. And he was, this was a common thing. My friends go on the boat when we're home. Very, very common. That's what we like to do. My friends like to fish also, and like to go on the boat, not just fishing, but like to go on the boat, like to go on sunset cruises,
well said, April.
Like to do it all, on the water, and Nolan loved to do that too. I mean, he was not like he was just like everyone else in our friend group. He loved to go on the water and, have a good time with the guys. And that's what we did a lot. But 4th of July, everybody was out there. Like I said, like Nolan was always trying to go on the boat, trying to go out there with us. And he was always welcome to come. Nolan was always out there with us. And, but started 4th of July, you know, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming.
That's him,
you know,
Deb. Warren,
everybody's
the one
very
talking.
excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like it's a big thing.
It's a big deal.
Very, very big deal. And I mean, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me, and I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck, and well, first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck.
Very
my
possibility, Bible.
Wyatt
Well
and I
said.
went and with my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach, and I drove the boat from Fort Bayou boat launch to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that's where we all planned to meet up that day. And
you say we all, who you talking about? You, Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
We had roughly 20 to 30 people coming on 3 separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. You know, it wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island. It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between 3 boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear, because the statements that are out there made it appear that it was just you, Nolan, and probably 2 or 3 other guys, and y'all are the only ones that went out to this island.
And that's completely incorrect. I mean, Horn Island on the 4th of July is the most popular day to be on the water on, you know, throughout the entire Gulf Coast. I mean, everybody.
So now he says, I have heard, and it appears that the word was that it was only you and 3, 4 other guys that were at the island. I never heard anybody say that there was not a lot of people at the island. I never heard anybody say that this island wasn't packed. I mean, from the beginning, unless he's not clarifying, being the interviewer, you know, the idea that there was 2,000 to 3,000 people out there. So I never heard that there wasn't that many people out on the island. There was a shitload of people at the island. Warren's having trouble keeping his story consistent because it seems like, to me, in my experience, and in my opinion, it seems like a lot of this is all regurgitated. It's all, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to remember. He's trying to think of, okay, yeah, it was like this, but we were best of friends. You know what I'm saying? It's that hesitation, like he's trying to get it just right, in my opinion. In my opinion. Kentucky said, L says Kentucky, I agree. Photon, High Bible. L42 watching, 23 likes. Can we please hit the like button for Dee? Thank you. Appreciate you all. Click that like. Subscribe if you are new. And if you are not a subscriber, subscribe. And if you're a subscriber, become a member. Be a Devil Pup investigator in the channel. Carolina Girl says, sounds like he's beginning to get his story messed up. Absolutely. That's what I see. That's what I'm noticing. Warren's having trouble keeping his story consistent. April, seems Warren was very popular. Also, could someone be jealous how close Warren and Nolan were? Another friend. Very possible. That's a good point, April. Very good point. Bible, he stayed with Nolan at his buddy's house. Not he stayed at his buddy's house with Nolan was there. Very well said. Very well said, Bible. And yes, thank you. Thank you for answering that, April. Yes, Deb, that is the judge's stepson. Okay, we're going to play it now.
And their mom is on the water on 4th of July, you know. There's no telling. I mean, roughly probably 2 to 3 maybe even 4,000 people out there. There were boats lined up off the island. I mean, there was 3 rows of boats all the way until my vision ended, until I could see of people from, I mean, there was 1 row of boats, and then there was another row of boats, and then there was a 3rd row of boats.
Yeah.
I mean, there was people lined up all up and down the island to where, I mean, who knows? I mean, and that wasn't just, we were parked on the north side, on the west tip. It wasn't just there. I mean, there's tons of people packed out on the south side and on the east end and in the middle of the island. But just where we were, I mean, there was easily 1,000 people. It wasn't just us.
Let's go back a little bit. I want to go back to you guys at the dock, getting on the boat. You're saying there's multiple people, probably 20 or 30 people getting on 3 boats.
Right.
What boat were you on?
Marianne.
What boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on Wyatt's 22 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy Bart because we had a lot of friends from college coming down. And Bart, I called Bart that morning. I was like, "Hey, man, can you take your boat out?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, my dad's decided not to go, and I'll take the boat and I'll take you and your friends." Of course, I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and Nolan rode out on the Triton. And then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton. And then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton. And then there was the rest of the group, which was probably ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line, which is 24 tide line.
And so you guys get on, and I know a little bit more than the audience do because we went out there a little earlier because I wanted to see exactly what the drive was like, what the dock was like, how far it is out there.
Of course.
But I want you to tell, the audience, like, what was this trip like? How was the waters? Did you guys do anything in between the time you rode and the time you get to the island? Was there music? Is it like a big party? Like, what is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously music's blasting. It's 4th of July, man. I mean, everybody's really excited. And I mean, we had a lot of people loaded down. So obviously our biggest, we're just trying to make sure everybody, gets out there safe. And so, I mean, on the way out there, it was pretty calm. I think it was blowing like 3 or 4 knots. I mean, the waters were clear. It was a great day to be on the water. Sunshine, not cloudy at all. And I mean, it was a great day to be out there on 4th of July. And so, I mean, we followed each other out, and I mean, it was calm. It was calm. On the way back, it was a little more rough, but it was not anything all my buddies' boats couldn't handle, or like, it wasn't like we were getting really beat up or anything. I mean, it was pretty calm.
And so you guys get out there. I'm assuming that you line the boats up because I'm envisioning the picture of getting out there and there's hundreds of boats. Mm-hmm. There's thousands of people. Yeah. So it wasn't just you guys on a deserted island with
of course not
a few people. This is thousands of people out there.
Right.
And there's a lot of people doing what? What does it look like when you first pull up?
I pull up, and we pulled up at 10:30. I mean, it wasn't.
So once again, the interviewer is making it seem like, people were saying that it wasn't like a deserted island. It was a lot of people there. It wasn't just like 4 people, or, he's trying to minimize the fact and distort, in my opinion, on really what we all really know was that it was packed. There was a lot of people there. Everybody knew it. That's why they were always saying there has to be somebody that saw what happened. There had to be someone that recorded what happened. There had to be someone that heard what happened. Okay, we heard that throughout this whole thing, but he keeps the interviewer, in my opinion, keeps going ahead and making it seem like no, everybody was making it sound like there was hardly anybody here. Like it was no one ever said that, and I've never heard anybody say that there was nobody here. You know what I'm saying? So the idea that he keeps interjecting with these notions, in my opinion, that are at least from what I know of the case, which I think I know very well, that there's not a whole lot of things that he's saying that's really accurate, because he's depicting a place that they were all at that was very desolate. There wasn't a whole lot of people. That's what people were saying. No one ever said that. Contrary, they said there was a shitload of people there. So I just wanted to point that out. Let me read some of these comments. Yes, I was hoping Chris would hop on to help them out. L and Barney was also to see Barney on panel. Dev, so many people there. How could he end up alone and without his phone? Casey, imagine no cell service with Wi-Fi thrown from boats. So chats, pics, drones start being the fourth more than just a weekend. Well said. L, yeah, there were way too many people there for no one to have seen anything. Doesn't make sense to me. Marianne, okay, I'm off. Have a great day. See ya, Marianne. Be safe. Bible, I think Nolan was pushed out the boat and made to swim back to the island, but couldn't make it. That's a good theory, Bible, no doubt. Barney, thank you. That was my first time on PP. L, have a great day as well, Mariette. I'm a Dreamer says, if he chose to not go back early, I would think he would hop on another boat and head in. You would think. That makes sense to me. Bible, Marianne, I'm a Dreamer, exactly, agree. Purple, in my opinion, possible hit by a boat or boat prop. Very possible. Very possible. That's a good point. Deb, his phone doesn't lie. Something is off. Barney, thank you. My sleep meds were kicking in my butt when I was on PP. All right, we're gonna play it now.
I mean, early afternoon. I mean, it wasn't, but 10:30 is, still pretty early in the day. And when we got there, there was already 3 rows of boats lined up all the way, like I said, until I could see. And
you're talking, when you say all you can see, you're speaking about miles.
Yeah.
Of boat. When we went out there earlier, or not earlier today, but when we went out there, the island is massive.
Correct.
I mean, it's just several miles long.
Roughly 10 to 12 miles. I mean, it's.
So you think that the boats were stretching from one end to the next, or a small area of about a mile or less than a mile of boats?
Well, I mean, I think there was boats all the way around the entire island, but I think some spots were more popular than others. Like the West Tip is usually very, very crowded on the 4th of July, and everybody knows that. So that's where a lot of people park because they want to be around other people. And the East End's a little more, there's not as many people, but there's still a lot of boats out there. I mean, it's not like no one, I mean, every area of Horn Island was covered 100%.
Wow. So you get out there, y'all jump out. What do? When I say jump out, you obviously not just sitting on the boat. The island is there. Like, what exactly are people doing there? Like, are you spending more time in the water, on the island, in the boat?
Well said,
like,
Whiskey.
How
Said.
is that look out there?
I mean, everybody, as soon as you get there, I mean, there's people on boats, grabbing drinks and, food, whatever else. I mean, everybody is fully prepared for the 4th of July. They bring, all the drinks and food that they need because, I mean, they've been preparing for 4th for a little while now. But when we got there, I helped my buddies tie the boats up because the tie line was right here, the Palm Beach was in the middle, and then the Triton was on the outer side. And there was about a drop off from where the bow was. I mean, if you jumped off the bow, you were probably about neck deep in water. But if you got off the stern, you were probably waist deep in water. I mean, but when we got there, we tied up, got, bow and rear anchor set, and we tied up all the boats, made sure they were good, and everyone just got on the water. And then eventually, next thing you know, it's our group. And then, next thing you know, there's 50 other people around us. And then it just grew and grew as the day came on. And, I mean, that's just how it was. Everybody's drinking, I mean, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves. And, it's a big party, basically. Big party.
Yeah, so y'all pretty much having a good time.
Of
Just
course.
like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably
Right.
20-year-olds,
Right.
college students
Right.
out on the island,
Right.
women, you probably had alcohol.
Of
So
course,
y'all having
yeah.
a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You know, you guys out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, you know, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies. They in a group. I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to, you know, everybody my age and even people older than us were, you know, over there. Like, I mean, it was just a regular thing. You know, we're all used to.
Okay, so the reason I stopped is because the next part, as he's talking, my question is, he said there was a lot. Hi, Ocean. Good to have you. Good to have you, Ocean Waves. Let me answer these first. Deb would think he had guidance before this interview, perhaps had questions beforehand. I think it's very scripted, in my opinion, but that's just me. And I'm using my knowledge in law enforcement to understand that as well. So I'm not just saying that out of the blue. It sounds scripted to me. Casey's skimming through Golding's Lord of the Flies to see where MSM assumptions might be originating. I'm a dreamer. Somebody knows something. Deb, I think so too. His mom would have exactly how to answer these questions correctly. Which, yeah, she's a judge, you know, and I would love to know the affiliation and connection between Officer Tatum and literally Nolan's stepmom. I'm just throwing that out there. I would love to know what their connection is, if there is one. Hi, Ocean. Good to see you, Photon. Hi, Ocean. Barney, marks on Nolan's back from the boat anchor. Very possible. April, he doesn't seem too upset about the loss of his best friend. Best friend, and then he had a lot of other people there. Unbelievable. Debbie, seems like it. L, forgot those joining. This is an interview regarding the Nolan Wells case. Officer Tatum interviewing Warren, friend of Nolan and judge's son. Gronsky, a friend of mine lost her daughter by being hit in the head by a boat propeller. Prop. Yeah, that can happen, especially when there's so many boats. As he stated, there was 3 lines. The first wave down, the second wave back, and then they were in the third wave back because they got there at 10:30, and so they were way back. That's how many people were there, and it was as long as he could see. What did he say? 10 to 12 mile long is what the island was. Gronsky, very sorry to hear that. No doubt. Bible, Tatum is just a blogger with a few million subs. He gets clicks and views. Manex, hi, watching. This is Hollywood production, in my opinion. Awesome. So my question is this now. He had a lot of friends that came from college. Older people that he knew, people he grew up with. Not just Nolan. He didn't really focus on just one person. He said he talked to a lot of people, right? Now, here's my question. This is just a question, and I'm throwing it maybe a little early, but has the Sheriff's Department contacted all these people? Has Warren given a list of all these people that were there that he knew? Because he said he knew a lot of the people there. He knew people that were just from the area, people that he would go boat fishing. He would like to fish. His family would like to fish. They knew a lot of the people that were there that were older people and younger people. So the question is, did he give all those names to the Sheriff's Department so that they could go talk to them and see what they knew? And then by talking to them, they're going to know other people. They're going to know other people and get those people's names. You see what I'm saying? It keeps going on and on until they collaborate and get everybody, for the most part, that was there on the island. Was that even done? I don't know if that was done. I'm not saying it wasn't. I just don't know. But I haven't heard of anything like that they have talked to all these people, because they're still asking for more tips. If you know something, say something. If you got videos or if you got any information, Bob, get it to the sheriff's department, this, that, and the other. Well, he knew most of the people there. There was some people I'm sure he didn't know, but he knew a lot of the people there. And when you know a lot of people, that keeps expanding because they know a lot of people. And they know a lot of people. You follow me? And it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And that's a good way to gather all these people as much as you can so that you can interview them. I know it's not crazy. That's what you do, is you take these people and you interview them. That's how you figure out and find out the consistencies of stories that are being told. Let me read this and we'll get back to it. Bodies seem to be unidentifiable, though, if they need dental records, allegedly. Cecily, is Warren's dad the doctor? I'm not sure if he's the doctor, Cecily. I just know his stepmom, is a judge in Jackson. Mannix, hi. Warren said he had a couple of conversations with Nolan on the island, but he spent the night with him. Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, I mean, good point. He spent the night with him, but yet he only had a couple conversations. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's how they do things in Mississippi. I don't know. Debbie, but they haven't been finding injuries. Hi, watching this is Hollywood. Thank you for being here, Man X. Is Warren's dad? Bodies seem to be unidentifiable. Had to use dental records. Cicely, yes. Cicely, thank you, L. I doubt Ellie got those people's stories. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't seem to me, by everything that's being talked about and everything that's being said, there seems to be a big piece is missing. And you have one young man that's there doing an interview that's telling you, I knew a lot of people there. Older people who were fishermen, people who me and my family, we'd go fishing a lot because we like fishing. We knew a lot of the people, some younger, some older, had high school friends. I had people from my college, when we go to college, that were out there. Seems to me like all you have to do is talk to Warren and get all the names that he knows that were there. And then with those people, you talk to them and you get all the people that they know and you see how that builds. And then next thing you know, you pretty much got the whole group. You may not have all of them, but you'll have fairly amount of the people that were there that you're going to find the information you're looking for. Just saying. April, not ruling out one of those friends of Warren's was racist. Just saying. Very possible. That's a very good point, April. Very good point. Deb, so important to have statements immediately. They need questioning separately. That's the most crucial thing in something like this. You want to get ahead of it. You want to get all the statements. And I'm not saying they didn't, because I don't know, but it doesn't sound like they did. It just doesn't sound like it to me. But I'm not saying they didn't. In my opinion, it just doesn't sound like they got everything they needed. Because you're right. You do want to get all that stuff ahead of the game, because it's a lot of work. And you need to get it if you're going to try to really solve what happened. Very well said, Deb. Bible, Nolan supposedly rode different boat out there than Warren, yet Warren ended up with his keys. Warren ended up with his phone. Warren ended up with his phone, Bible. The keys from my understanding, the keys were held by another individual by the name of Jax. April, someone that was a friend of of a friend that was there as possible as well, sadly. Deb, kids will lie right to your face and deny knowing anything. I'm a dreamer, says Debbie. You are right. Click that like, everybody. Click that like. Hit the emojis. Get the algorithm going, everybody. Share the stream. Be a devil pup investigator in the channel. L, very true, Deb. Bible, Ellie should at least talk to all those that rode out to the island with Nolan, without a doubt. But he himself said, I knew a lot of people that were there. And I'm telling you, it doesn't take much to, when you know a lot of people somewhere, to give those names, and they're going to know the rest of those people that you don't know. They're going to know people. And it's that chain just keeps building and building and building until you got everything you need. Just my opinion. Man, suspicious in my opinion. Bible Dreamer. Paula, welcome in, Paula. Yeah, I'm going to go to part 2 next, Paula. Thank you. Appreciate you. And thank you for being here. Click like and subscribe. Be a devil pup investigator in the channel. Captain Obvious. Who said he didn't get on the boat, Bible? Who said he didn't get on the boat? Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Captain Obvious. I watched part 1 and 2, and part 3 is coming. Hi, Paula and Captain. Welcome in, everybody. Please click the like and subscribe. Captain, the boy said Nolan didn't get on the boat coming back. That's what they said. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and play the next part here. Hang on.
To this, we've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, every weekend. Like, I fish the islands. I don't just, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Ship Island too. So I'm very familiar with the islands. And I feel like it was just a big, I talked to Nolan, and, Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking, most of everybody. And I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations. And, Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple conversations with Nolan and Javon, Nolan and my buddy James, I could tell you, I talked to Nolan a couple times, but it wasn't like I was strictly sitting there talking to Nolan the whole day. I mean, there was hundreds of people I knew out there. So,
yeah. And Nolan said something interesting. You told me about this. Something he said to you, I would say would be indicative of y'all's friendship.
right.
And then he also mentioned something to you about that particular day and what it meant to him.
Right.
And could you share that?
Right. Yeah. So Nolan and my buddy Javon are talking, and, I grew up with Nolan, and Nolan's, just all, like I said, like, just so joyful, like always happy. Like, every picture I have with Nolan or picture I have of Nolan, he's smiling. I mean, like, he's always happy. If I always need like a shed of light, I'm calling Nolan, and Nolan and I laugh and joke a lot. Like, that's how our friend group is. We're really jokingly laugh. No one takes anything that serious. We enjoy our time together. I mean, there's never any awkwardness within our friend group. We're very, very tight. So if I ever need to get something off my chest or talk to anybody, I'm talking to all my friends. I'm not just talking to like specifically anybody. I would go out, like, even if I'm having issues with something, I go talk to my group chat, and my guys are there to, give me a hand anytime I need it. And all my guys are, all my buddies are the same exact way. Nolan was the same exact way. If you ever need something, I'm here, man. Like, that's how he was. So.
And then you guys get ready to leave prematurely.
Right.
And like, explain that, because you guys got there around 10.
Yeah.
It's now 4:30.
Right.
People are still out there partying, and
Correct.
they're having a good time. But something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So
So now So now we're going to go to that second part. Let's see what we got in the chat. The boy said Nolan. Bible says the boy said Nolan didn't get on the boat coming back. Who said he didn't get on the boat and leave his keys in that boat while swimming? Well, we don't know either which way, Captain Obvious. Either which way, we don't know. We don't know. What we do know as fact is that it's been documented that Jax had the keys and Warren had his phone. How they got them, we don't know. Were they left on the boat? We don't know. But we do know that those young men, young adults, had those items in their possession. That we do know. Bible, Captain, it seems more sensible than one would leave the keys, phones, etc. on a vessel they arrive and not get them wet during the transfer of the boat to boat. See, you need to stop speculating assumptions without knowing facts. I don't think anybody is literally going ahead and making this into a factual thing. I think these are opinions that everybody's trying to figure out what makes sense and what was the angle of the interview. Now, if it was informative, great. If some people got it that way, great. But I'm not seeing anybody make a opinion and not state an opinion. Bible Captain, you need to get a life. He arranged to go back with them and told them he would be staying with the girl. So originally, he is the logical person to leave his keys. But the problem here is that the girl, well, you'll see on the next clip. You'll see on the next clip. Good points, everybody. Good points. Welcome in, everybody. Good points. Everybody here has an opinion, and everybody's opinion gets heard. Well said, everybody. This is what his friends have said, Cap. We are only talking about what has been said. Why? Because you're pushing lies and calling them out, Captain. That's not what we're doing. We don't push lies on this channel. Okay? So, that's not how we roll here. So be respectful and let everybody have their own opinion. Mannix, Nolan gained 20 pounds in over 1 year, and his body was a lean, mean fighting machine. A lot of muscles to gain in 1 year. Was he a D1 scholarship candidate? Purple, it's not lies. It's looking at every angle, in my opinion. Well said, Purple. Well said. I'm a dreamer. I don't see Captain. I must be blocked. Captain has sailed away. Adios, amigo. April, Captain has sailed away. Everybody here has great opinions and great thoughts. Make no mistake. Mods, if people come and start accusing people of lying like that, we don't have time for it. Just letting you guys know. You don't have to wait for me. We don't have time for it. Bible, April, he was trolling, of course. April will not tolerate disrespectful chatters. L, thank you, April. And yes, Bible, Mannix, AD1 scholarship is a path to the pros. Very competitive and sought after. Well said. Chris, you better send me a link. Sounds like I'm needed in the live. I don't think so. Okay, hang on a second. Let's invite Chris. Just because Gabriel said you were on last night on Patriot Pride doesn't mean we don't know what's going on. Here we go. It is there, Chris. There it is. Josiah, morning, Devil Dog. Good morning, Josiah. Good to have you. Casey, Bermuda Triangle effects, interstellar between Horn Island, and Mississippi. At Horn Island, Queensland AUI will withdraw this opinion in 8 minutes if no one laughs. Paula, no DD is doing a fine by myself. Awesome. Good to have you, Paula. Good to have you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Click that like and subscribe, everybody. Be a Devil Pup Investigator in the channel. Here, everybody has an opinion, and everybody's opinion matters because you all matter. That's how we do things here. Okay? Manex. Okay, so let me share something before I forget. So they didn't mention anything. Did you notice that when the interviewer talked about, remember when he was saying, yeah, and everybody was kind of drinking and everybody, they were partying, like young kids do, almost like normalizing the fact, almost like he was normalizing the fact that it's not a big deal. Young people always drink, they party. We all know. Did you see how the interviewer said that? Almost like normalizing, like it's not a big deal, guys. Just a bunch of kids. They're having a party. They're drinking. And, not a big deal. I mean, in my opinion, that's what he was trying to do, was normalize that even though there was alcohol there and these young people underage should have never been drinking, period. He tries to sell it as not a big deal. They're not like that at all. Stealth, it's amazing that people who cry for free speech are the ones that block people's opinions. Okay, Stealth, you got your opinion in. Josiah, thank you for that 100 gems, my friend. Appreciate you. I'm Chris. We're doing fine, just trying to understand like everyone else. Deb, we want answers for Nolan and his family. Nothing wrong with questions and opinion. Without a doubt, Deb. Well said. Thank you all, says Casey. Absolutely, Deb. Manex, Deb, Jean. I knew my son's friends' parents, the ones who did want me to know their parents. Majority turned out to be troublemakers. April Stells keeps trying, laughing out loud. Bye. In my dreamer, my parents never would allow. Chris is in the house, everybody. April Stealth keeps trying. Bye.
I heard that comment you said.
Dreamer, my parents would never allow me to take the boat to the party island.
I didn't appreciate it either.
Okay. Takinita.
Look,
you just blocked Stealth as well. What a Nazi mod. Okay, Tequila. You don't like it here. Here, everybody has an opinion, and you have to understand that. Everybody has an opinion, and everybody's opinion gets heard. But you're not going to accuse people of lying or telling mistruths when all they're doing is giving their opinion. That's not going to fly on this channel. Just letting you all know right now from the get-go.
I better go then.
So the other question I had, did you guys hear me? The interviewer did not state, he made it try to seem like he was normalizing the alcohol that was there. That, when Warren said, yeah, we got the ice and packed, he even called it drinks. Warren called it drinks because he didn't want to say alcohol, because if he said alcohol, well, he would be literally saying he was partaking in that, because they would ask, well, how'd you get the alcohol? So he's smart enough to say we had our drinks, and then it's the interviewer that says, yeah, alcohol, kid. I mean, young people, 4th of July party, you're going to drink, alcohol. You follow me? He's trying to normalize this individual and normalize that drinking is not necessarily a bad thing. When in reality, we know that drinking could absolutely contribute to anybody's unaliving when you're in the water. That's just common sense. The other thing I'll get with you. Hang on, Chris.
Yeah, go for it.
So the interview was just doing just what I said. He was trying to normalize Warren. He was trying to, in my opinion, trying to make Warren feel like put to the people that nice kid. They were friends. They talked about really serious things. They talked about a lot of things. They talked about intimate things that we could count on each other. That's nothing more than just trying to make a person look more than what they did that night. As far as when I say what they did, what I'm saying is how they acted that day. Trying to make this person look humanized. Not saying he's not humanized, just saying he's trying to build the character of this individual. In my opinion, that's what he's trying to do, in my opinion. The last thing, at 4:30, they left, and then that's where it's at. So that's what I got out of this first part. Not sure exactly, how everybody else feels, and you can all make your own opinions. But in my opinion, there was a lot of bluster trying to create an image that may or may not have been there that day. And the idea that, to me, that it's just boys being boys. They were drinking. No, they're underage. You ought to know for a fact that underage people cannot drink. And when you mix alcohol with going boating, especially, shit happens. It always does. So there's always that thing of, I didn't like it. I thought it was well rehearsed, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. So that's where we're at. Welcome in, Chris. Welcome in.
Your opinion doesn't matter. Hello, good morning. How isn't you?
Good. I'm doing good. We're doing good here.
Are you sure?
I'm doing outstanding.
I know you are. I think a couple people in the chat took my, you better send me the link I'm needed in the live, was to maybe fix what you were doing, which is incorrect. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just here to make people laugh.
Okay,
So,
well, make me laugh.
I just did. You were just laughing.
Nolan,
I don't even know what we're talking about. I don't even know who these people are.
So we're talking about the interview that
I've been here the whole time lurking.
Okay.
Got you. Yup.
Nolan was the apple of his parents' eyes, too sad. L, absolutely, DD. Bible, he admitted to drinking while driving a boat, at least. He should have stayed quiet. The more he talked, the more you tell. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and even with the interviewer trying to normalize it like it's not a big deal, hell yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, you can count how many people have gone unalived, literally have become unalived when they have been out there boating and alcohol was involved. Just look at the statistics. They don't lie. This non-praise, I agree 100%. Man X Warren thinks he can talk, but he is trying to hurt a possible jury pool. Yes, narrative was portrayed. L, that's what the narrative was. Yes, that was what he was trying to do. He was just trying, in my opinion, that's what he was trying to do. Hello, Ticina, Paula. When you're 18 and you are definitely going to make your own decisions, sometimes there aren't the right ones. Sometimes people are evil we come across. Very well said, Paula. Very well said. Carolina, thank you for that 100 gems helping out the channel. Appreciate you always supporting the channel. This Nana praise. This Nana praise. Hello. Welcome in, this Nana. Casey got to have alcohol for the first time. Jellyfish, horseshoe, crabs, shovel, no sharks. And here's the thing, folks. You can have alcohol under the age of 18 or 18 if you're under the age of the drinking limit, as long as you have your parents with you. If you have your parents with you, now I don't know. I think it's like that in every state. I'm not sure, but I know there's a law that says you can give your underage kids, if you are with them, you can let them drink if you want them, because you're going to be responsible for whatever goes on with them, you know. So that is something, but I didn't think everybody's parents were out there, and it has to be your parents, not someone else's parents. Just saying. Mayonnaise, what were they drinking? Alcohol. I think there was like, I don't know exactly what, but I think of some of the pictures didn't show, Chris, like it was like some type of like Smirnoffs or something like that. Did
Yeah,
you ever
some
see
canned something or other. I couldn't see the
Paula?
name.
Well, people are blaming those boys for Nolan's death based off nothing. Tatum just showed the boys are normal teenage behavior. Well, it's not a matter of blaming them for nothing. Someone had, we don't even know what the toxicology report is actually going to have inside, right, Paula? We don't know what that's going to show, what they had in their system. Because I'll be frank and honest, there was a report that also stated about there was narcotics on the boat, that these boys were doing narcotics on the boat. I didn't see any question being asked. Hey, could you tell me if could you answer this question? Was there drugs on the boat? I didn't see that question being asked. And yet there was a report that they were drugs being done. Now they're going to know through the toxicology report, they're going to know what was in their system. So once again, you know, there's a lot of there without a doubt. Without a doubt. Melly, good morning, everyone. Welcome in, Melly. Melly, good morning, says Al. Jeannie, good morning. AJ, you are always welcome. Chris, definitely enjoy your comments and jokes. Thanks for being here and making dog laugh. Oh, I threw that part in. I'm sorry. AJ, good morning, Melly. Whiskey, Paula, 79.
What the hell did you just say?
And now blaming just want the true facts. Absolutely. No, there's no one blaming anything. We just want to know what happened. But the idea that if you're underage and you are doing something that's not legal, I'm not saying it doesn't happen all the time. But here's the thing you got to remember. When it does happen and something goes wrong, you have no legs to stand on. Okay? When you do something that's illegal, drinking underage is illegal. Okay? And everybody, I should say everybody, a lot of people do it. And it's okay when everything goes fine. But when something goes wrong, that's when it becomes a problem. And that's what we have here. There was a lot of kids that were consuming, underage kids consuming alcohol. Something definitely went wrong. Now there's got to be somebody to ask the question, you know, where, who provided it? Where did it come from? You know, and I think hearing this individual, Officer Tatum, ask those questions, to me, it almost seemed like he was trying to normalize it, like, everybody does it, not a big deal. Everybody might do it, but when it goes wrong, it's your ass. That's what you got to remember. This is Nana's Prayers. Thank you, Barney. Hello, Melly, Chris, Debbie. Drinks get spiked. Hope they didn't happen. Brooke Nassau. Yes, I'm pretty sure it is in every state. Thank you, Brooke. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. L, please hit the like. Miss Barney, nope. Not in my state. 21 means 21. Interesting. What state are you in, Barney? Photon. Melly. Case. Can power the attorney plea a teen with alcohol? Can a power of attorney apply a teen with alcohol? Supply. No, you can't. It has to be, well, in most states, the law is clear that it states the parent, at least one parent, the dad or the mom has to be with that juvenile. If they are going to drink, then they're going to allow that individual to drink. They can't let other people drink who's underage, but they can let their own kid, because if something goes wrong, they're responsible. Morning, all Melly. Morning, Barney. Morning, Photon. Carol, hello. Jeannie, hi, Carol. Photon, Carol. I believe it does here to Barney. I know how because I've never given encouraged my son that it is okay to drink. Carol, good morning. All right, Chris, go ahead. Take it away. What do you got, buddy? Hello.
Sorry, you caught me mid-chew.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. Manix, here you can buy THC drinks all over the place. Carol, hello. April, keep that respectful and risk time out. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for that, April. Manix, wow, under 21. Paula, so if the toxicology report shows alcohol and drugs in Nolan's system, his friends are to blame. No, not his friends are to blame. It's the people that provided the alcohol and the drugs. So if the toxicology report comes back that he had stuff, then that's going to be a part of an investigation. They're going to have to go down that rabbit hole to find out who provided the alcohol and who provided the drugs. It's not like you can say, well, he took it. He was he's 18. He made his own decision. It doesn't work like that. That's not how the law works. That's not how the law works. Okay. The actuality is that if they find that in the system, that's going to be an underlining. I guarantee you, that's going to be an underlining contribution to his unaliving. If they say he drowned, okay, if they say he drowned, the underlining is going to be narcotics involved. Now they're going to have to investigate who gave those narcotics. That's if, in fact, he has it in his system. Those are the people that are going to be running for the hills because they're going to have to investigate how did they get there. And that's how it works. Good question, Paula. Good question. Manix, not sure if it's 18. I will have to check. Dreamer, I didn't know that. Paula, we really don't know who's to blame. We're just asking the angles of the situation without a doubt. These are all just opinions, everybody. That's all they are. We're trying to process everything that was said. Time to explain how visitors use the restroom if there's no facilities on this wilderness island. Well said, KC. Manix. Okay, Dab, I just don't see Nolan as the type of guy. He seemed goal-oriented. And that's the thing, Dab. You're 100% right. I don't see it either, to be honest. I don't see that he would be doing that because his dad even talked about how goal-driven he was, But then again, alcohol makes people do anything stupid. It can make you get to a point where you're not thinking rationally. So, that is a thought. Belly, April, good morning. Virginia, I've never heard a law anywhere that a kid can drink with parents' permission. Absolutely. It's here in Ohio. I know it's out. I know we checked it out in Mississippi. I know it's there in Mississippi. If your parents are with you and you are underage, you can drink, but they are responsible for you. But that parent has to be there. And I think it's in most of the states, to be honest. April, Millie, good morning to you. Manix. Must be 21. Check. Annie, morning. All late. Millie, morning, Annie. Did he drink and use drugs by his choice or was it forced by his friends? Everyone is looking at someone to blame. I still feel he fell off the back of the boat. And you know what? He may have, Oleg. That's a good point. He may have fell off the back of the boat. He may have done it to himself. What I'm saying is it's not a matter of who's to blame. It's if there's something in a system, they're going to have to figure out how it got there, who provided it, right? And once they do that, those people who provided those things that are illegal to people underage, well, hell yeah, they're going to be accountable. That's a fact. I've seen it happen many times. I've worked cases like this many times. That's what's going to happen. Someone is going to answer if he has those things in his system. That's an if he has it. I don't think he has drugs in his system, but I know alcohol can make anybody think they can do anything. And there you go. Gotcha, Mannix. Annie, good morning. Narcotics and football do not mix. Without a doubt, Annie. Thank you, Melly. Annie, April. Hello, Annie. Annie, Crowley. It does. It does. I can confirm that. Annie, April. Thank you, Oleg. Brooke, you can in Georgia. Yeah, you can in Ohio. No doubt about it. Brooke, approximately 30 states allow a minor to drink under parent supervision. Thank you, Brooke. Appreciate that. Majority of the states have that law. In Maryland, you can legally give your child alcohol under 21, but only if there's a parent or guardian and the drinking occurs in a private residence. I don't know this. I didn't know this. All right, we are caught up. Let's get Chris in here. What is your thoughts on all this, Chris?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm still confused about a lot of things.
What was your take on the interview by Officer Tatum to Warren?
I just think he's reading from something. I think it's a staged, just to. Yeah, I don't know really. I think it's just staged for him to try to look like, he didn't do anything or wasn't involved with anything. Because really, I mean, if I was his lawyer, I'd be like, I don't think so. You shouldn't be doing that interview.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. That's exactly right. His best thing was probably not to go ahead and have an interview, period. No. Not say a damn thing, kind of like he lowered up for a reason.
Right.
Okay. So, there's no way that an attorney would say, yeah, go ahead. You can do that. Scripted or not scripted, it don't matter, because there's always something that can slip out. Like in this, there was a lot of things that slipped out in here that I caught. A lot of things, and maybe it's because of my experience, or maybe it's just because I just happened to catch it. But I would like to think it was my experience that is letting me see what he's trying to portray this individual. Now, I'm not saying Warren's a bad kid. I'm not saying he's a horrible kid. I'm not saying any of these kids meant to do anything or did anything. All I'm saying is when something goes south, they always look at what's attributed. Mm-hmm. Inevitably, from hearing some experts speak, they are going to find that he has drowned one way or the other, because that's going to be the main thing, right? Waters are going to be in his lungs, irregardless. He was face down in the water, for God's sake. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be known that he did take in that water, no oxygen going to the brain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, there's always an underlining to that. And the underlining is always another case when they find out if he did have alcohol and or drugs in his system, and they know he's not of age, they're going to ask the question, who provided that? Mm-hmm. That's just common sense. Everybody.
They're in trouble.
They're in trouble, and they will be in trouble. So
I mean, even if it comes to be that it had nothing to do with him being drunk, that person that supplied that alcohol is still going to be in trouble.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right, because it's that old saying, it's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt.
Exactly.
It's all good to go. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I never drank when I was underage, because I did. Okay. Right. But I also know that if something went south, someone was going to pay for that.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works, especially when you're dealing with a high profile case like this. It's not, and the reason it's high profile is because who the attorney is. They're going to make noise, and I mean, the facts are the facts. Did he have alcohol in his system? If he did, the fact would be yes. If he did, okay. If he did he have drugs in his system? We don't know that. But if the toxicology report shows that he did, I guarantee you those are going to be the drawing where they're going to go after whoever provide that, and they're going to need to do an investigation about that. And that's included the sheriff's department. It doesn't just stop when they say, oh, yeah, he did drown. Well, what was the underlying cause of him drowning? Well, he did have this on his system and he had this in his system. Now the whole game changes. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it works, everybody. Let me answer some of these questions real quick.
Hold on, before you do that, let me answer one here.
Go ahead. Brooks. Or answer some if you want. Go ahead.
No. That's your thing, not my thing. But no, I wanted to answer Brooke. Brooke said, Chris is at a loss for words. That's scary. That's funny. Thanks.
That's the only one?
Yeah.
You can read the others too if you want.
That one there just made me tired.
Okay. Answer some of these that are out there. You can answer these questions too, man.
Well, let me see.
Start with L.
L said Brooke and then the laughing. Great, thank you. Jeannie Shannon was he the one that didn't pass the polygraph? Did they all take polygraphs already?
I didn't hear anybody take a polygraph.
Neither did I. Hey, you never know. News. Whiskey River.
Where you at?
My sister got drunk and called me 17 times and left a voicemail. I called her back next day. She said, I didn't call you. Must have been the dogs. Some people should stick to water. Agreed.
Go up here.
Oh, wow, whiskey.
Hey, go up here to Brooks. Read Brooks, the one you just read, that you're a loss for words. Now read Paula's. Start there and go down.
When I was a teenager, there was underage drinking and drugs all the time, even football players. Of course. What?
And no one's saying that there's not.
No, I mean, Jesus. Look at that's how I became an alcoholic years ago. It was high school.
Hey, I did my share, Paula. Believe you, I did my share and probably your share and several other people's share.
Well, but I mean, if you've never had a drink in your entire life, well, congratulations.
Absolutely.
But there can't be one person in this chat as a teenager you didn't drink. Now, I can tell you one thing. The only thing I've ever tried drug-wise in my entire life was a little bit of the ganja, a little bit of that's it. I've never done any other drug. I was scared straight from my mother with the drugs. I mean, and I could have did any. I mean, even today, take 2 seconds. I could have you any drug you want, but I never did, man. I was too scared, like chicken shit.
Well, I can tell you, I did my share, like I said, and many people else's share. And I can tell you that, once I went into the Marine Corps, all I did was drink, not like a fish, but, Marines drink. I was of age at that time when I went to the Marine Corps because I had just turned 21 once I got in. And the idea is that, and here's the thing, Paula, everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people drink and will do drugs. We've all been there. I've been to many parties when I was a kid. Well, I've hosted many parties as a kid. But I will say this, if something goes wrong, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to look to something. If somebody wants to call it blaming, so be it. The exact words are someone contributed to the possibility of this person becoming unalive. That's how they're going to look at it. That's how the law is going to look at it. And that's why it is a big deal when something goes wrong. Go ahead, Chris. Read the next one. Thank you for that comment, Paula and Brooke.
I lost where I was.
You're at Jeannie.
Yeah, that's great, but I don't know. I read that one.
Okay.
Was that one didn't pass the was he the one that didn't pass the polygraph?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about a polygraph at all.
I didn't hear anybody doing a polygraph.
Yeah.
You never know. And then Whiskey River with the sister and the dog.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Oh wow whiskey. Casey 975. The Linda Blair covenant between the states and federal maritime laws, jurisdiction over navigable stipulates possession is 9/10 of the law. Well, of course. Purple. Young people take pics of everything. Just saying. Yeah, that was a pretty big discussion on Patriot Pride last night. Of did he have his phone or did he leave his phone on the boat? Everybody. You know what I mean? Obviously, a lot of people had their phones, but I mean, that's a tough thing. I don't know. I mean, nobody knows if he had his phone with him or if it was left in a dry bag on the boat. Who knows? I mean, it's just, I guess, that's one of the things we may never know.
Right.
Whether or not he had it or not. It's such a sketchy situation because there could be, 10,000 different things that happened.
Correct.
I'm a dreamer. I didn't either. L wasn't aware of polygraph if one was done either. Brooke had to provide a little comic relief. If that investigation occurs into providing alcohol to minors, hopefully there is a better sheriff to investigate the names.
Well said. Well said.
Poor nanos. Ducker. Wow, that dude's crazy. Sorry. Who do we got now? Jeannie Shannon. L, it was said in a YouTube stream this morning. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I don't know.
Yeah, because I hadn't heard it either, but definitely have to look into that for sure.
Virginia Kimbler. I've never ever done any type of drugs. Never. Well, that's good for you. Congratulations. Me neither. I lied. Marijuana, but yeah, no, that's good. Good for you. L, Jeannie, thanks. We'll have to look into that. Do you know which one you heard it on? Jeannie again. L, it may have been on the Juice stream. He didn't say it. Could have been Tatum. Well, we'll know if we watch the second piece, right?
And we're going to watch it right now.
Yeah. Whoop.
Chris, your sound level is up and down. Please modulate, sir. Thank you, says Manix.
Say what?
Exactly. Get close to your mic.
Hey, listen, I'm going on 2 hours of sleep, so I don't want to hear about it.
I didn't get a phone call last night. I would have been there helping you out.
Yeah, sure. What, are you going to ride the bike here?
L, Chris, I'm a dreamer. Had hit sound keep going in and out. I'm a dreamer. His Robert. Phones were on dashboards of boat. And we know this? How? I'm just curious. How? But let me play the next video, okay?
Okay.
We love you, Chris. Here we go with the next video. This is part 2, everybody. Click that like and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to Chris. Let's talk with Chris's channel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, everybody.
And all my friends everybody's leaving their phone on a boat. I opened the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. We're in Mississippi right now. We're getting ready to recount.
Okay. First of all, did anybody catch this or no? Anybody?
The girls saw it too?
No. So he says that Nolan decided to stay on the boat and that Nolan decided to go talk to the girl and the girl confirmed that. That's not true. That's not true. To my understanding, the girl said she saw Nolan leave and walk towards the boat, the friend said that Nolan told them he was going to be with the girl. She's never confirmed that I'm aware of, and if I'm wrong, please somebody share it to me. But I've never heard her say, "Yeah, he stayed with me." That's not what I've heard.
No?
I heard her saying that he walked back, had to leave because they were leaving, and that she said she saw him walk towards the boat. She believed he was going to get on.
Correct.
And now Warren is saying, no, he said he was going to go with the girl. That's why he stayed back, and the girl confirmed it. That's not true. That's not true, period. At least unless someone can show me that happened. I never seen that, never heard that. It's been the opposite.
Yeah.
So just wanted to point that out, everybody. All right.
The exact path that the boys took, also with Nolan Wells, from where they docked the boat at, all the way out to Horn Island and back. The boys are going to explain to me exactly what went on, how many people were there, how many boats were taken out, which I think the world is going to be completely dumbfounded when they realize what the truth really is, because the lies have been pervasive. So we're right here where Nolan left on the boat, and you'll find out how many people were there, how many boats, and then we're going to take that same path out. I'm going to go look at Horn Island and see exactly where they could have been to get a perspective that the media don't even care to try to do. And then we're going to take the trek back, and we're going to find out exactly what happened to Nolan. This is the reason why I'm here, man. I want you guys to have a voice. I want you guys to be able to speak out and show what the truth really is, and then let the world decide. I just don't want you guys to end up in a situation where your story never gets heard. Right here is where Nolan and probably 20 other kids got on the boat. So it's not just Nolan and 3 other kids. That was a lie. That was a myth. I'm going to prove that. Right here is where the kids were docking, and we're going to show you a video that coincided. I'm going to walk at the exact angle that the video is being broadcast from, so you know that I'm exactly where I say I am. But the boys were here. Tons of people you'll see on the video is getting onto the boat, and they took 3 boats out. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just Nolan and 4 boys. It was a multitude of people on several different boats. And some of the boys that they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on. But let me show you from the vantage point where I have the video to prove that I'm here where I say I am. And so right now, here's the angle that you're going to see on the footage. It's just from probably that boat to, maybe about 30, 40 feet here to the right. And this is where the video is showing how many people were actually out there, actually getting on the boats. So therefore, it debunks very clearly that it was only Nolan and 4 boys going out here to Horn Island.
Okay, so first of all, and this is coming from law enforcement. This ain't coming from just my opinions now. First of all, for Tatum to sit there and say that the lies have been perpetuated about these boys, what lies have been perpetuated? You can't prove either which way. We don't know what happened. We don't know what took place. We know who ended up with some of Nolan's property, as in keys and phone, but we don't know, and no one had the idea that someone would say, well, I'm going to prove that these lies were perpetuated by some people. There's no lies out there that I'm aware of. Now, people could give their opinion on how they thought this all went down, but I'm not sure you sit there and say these are lies. Just like you can't necessarily 100% prove it's correct, you can't prove that it wasn't. So therefore, I didn't like how that came across, first of all. Second of all,
before you move on,
go ahead.
I wonder when he said about the lies, if he was just talking about the amount of people on each boat. I wonder if that's what he's
Well,
trying to. But
that's
don't
a
call
good-
it a lie, though.
yeah, well, yeah, because when you say a lie, you're trying to literally say it as factual,
Right.
and he doesn't have he wasn't there, okay? And
Oh.
just because one person says this is how it happened doesn't mean it happened like that, okay? If you're doing a very strict down the middle interview, then you're not going to sway one way or the other. And everything I have been seeing from this officer has been swaying one way. Everything that when I say everything, I mean of everything that I have caught has been one way sided, in my opinion. Now, he also says media don't care what the truth is. Why would he say that? Why would he say the media doesn't care? Because only he cares? Because only he has the truth? Because only
Maybe.
his egotistic mind says that what he says, that's how it is? In my opinion? Come on.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, this guy is definitely not playing with the full deck, in my opinion. I just call it the way it is because that's exactly how it is.
Hey, listen, if he comes knocking at my door and says, "Hey, you
Send
talking?"
him my
I'm
way.
sending him your
Send
way.
him my way. Send
That's a
him
big
my
dude
way.
right there.
Send him my way.
I will. Yeah, but then you'll call me and be like,
No,
hurry up and
no,
get here.
no.
He's on his
Send him
way.
my
He's
way.
on his way.
Okay, here's the other thing. I'm going to prove the boys were here, and I'm going to prove it. What the hell did he prove? That
Nothing.
what? What did he prove?
Nothing.
Ask yourself that question, chat. What did he prove? He proved what? That kids went on the boat? We heard that there was some of Nolan's friends couldn't go on the boat that Nolan was on because they had a lot of people on there.
Yeah.
So they took other boats. We heard that before.
Yeah, I mean, I know they took 3 boats full of people.
So I mean, to sit there and act like he's putting down a marker, in my opinion, to validate everything he's talking about in these interviews, this one and the first one. He's going out there and he's literally putting down markers like, yeah, he's right. He's right. I mean, he did prove that. Well, no one said that there wasn't more kids. So
Nope.
What the hell did you prove? Other than you just recited a story that's already been told.
Yep.
I mean, look, come on, man. If that's the best you got, we got problems.
I wonder why he got involved anyways.
Well, I want to know what the affiliation, if there is one.
I couldn't find one.
You couldn't find one?
No, that's what I was looking for.
I would
couldn't
like to know
connect
what the
them.
affiliation between him and maybe the Warren stepmother.
I tried. I couldn't find any info.
And I'm not saying that because I think he's a bad guy. I'm just saying the way he is coming across to call yourself Officer Tatum and you're coming across like that. My God, all you're doing is, in my opinion, all you're doing is damaging this kid.
Yeah.
Should have never had the interview with this kid.
No.
I'm
surprised they allowed it.
Yeah, without a doubt. So I had to go ahead and say that because to me, it's very telling when he says, and he walks all the way up to the top part, looks down and says, okay, about here and then a little bit here. Okay, and you can see the video that they're coming into the boat. Well, no one said they never did. So,
right.
Like, what kind of great information did you provide?
Nothing.
Not a damn
I mean,
thing.
I know at the beginning there was reports that, Nolan was on a boat with 3 other people, but that's not correct.
Right. And then there was a thing that they said that there was people on, Nolan was with a group of people, and that Nolan's other friends couldn't go on that same boat because they were going to, but they couldn't because there was not enough room, so they had to go on another boat. And then once they got to the island, there was a bunch of friends that were all there that came on different boats.
Yep.
You know, so I'm not sure what he's trying to infer when all that, no one has challenged any of that. Just saying. Let me
and I
ask.
know he
Go ahead.
mentions the media being on Horn Island. I mean, I don't really see a point to send a media crew there for just to show you the beach. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
I can understand why. I could understand why he's going because he's going with the kids, but the kids have the boat. The media would have to hire a boat, lug all their stuff. It wouldn't make any sense for me to go there. Now, if for some reason it comes back that there was some foul play and it was his unaliving was caused by somebody on the island or something, then I could possibly see the media going and.
Sure.
But I don't know why he's bringing up these other little things like media. Who cares?
Well, even Chris, even at the beginning of the second part, he says, "I'm going to prove to you what happened and why these kids didn't do anything wrong." And then he's talking to these, I'm assuming the kids that were, or kids, young adults that were there. He says, "I just want everybody to hear your voice, bro."
Right.
They got a mouth. If they want to talk, they're more than welcome to talk. No one told them to lower it up. They did that on their own or their parents. So to sit there and say, I want your voice to be heard, well, then open your mouth and talk. And if you're afraid to talk because you're afraid to stumble over yourself because of what happened, well, then that's on you. That's not on everybody else. Once again, everybody, this is common sense. It's just common sense. All right. Let me read this real quick, Chris. He did an interview and got info from the kids. That's what he did. We can't believe everything everyone says until we have facts and proof, in my opinion. Well said, L. Jeannie, please keep me informed. Jeannie, I'm usually on. You're no problem, Jeannie. No problem. Manex made for TV, in my opinion. Jeannie, I will do if I come across that info about polygraphs. And Casey says, can the chat host a Tatum poll to weigh fact versus fiction? I know we can do that. I just don't know how to do it here. I'll look into that because I don't know how to do it on here. I know on YouTube you can do it, but I don't know how you do it here. But I'll look into it, Casey. Bro, common sense isn't common anymore, unfortunately. When you lose common sense, I'm sorry, folks, you have nothing. You have nothing when you lose common sense because that's the only thing no one can take away from you but yourself.
This is true.
Totem pole. I would like to do a totem pole or a Tatum pole. I just don't know how to go ahead and set that up because I'm not on, like, per se YouTube. I'm on StreamYard. All right, everybody.
I can show you later.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to do it now, you can do it now.
Okay. I'll show you later.
Okay, sounds good. We'll definitely I'll get with Chris so he can show me how to do that. Okay, well, there you go. If you guys want to press 1 that this is one that this is fact, or 2 of what he's saying is fiction. 2 is fiction, 1 is fact. This is whether Tatum is telling truth or fiction. There you go. The poll just started just now. Now I'm going to play the second one.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, $118 for car insurance. That's how much I was paying. Okay, I picked up the car a few.
All right, you guys, sorry about the sunglasses. It's very bright out here, and I never wear sunglasses, but we're at Horn Island in almost the exact same position where the boards were, where Nolan was. So if you look out right here, just so you guys can get a perspective, you have the Horn Island here, But I want you guys to put this in your mind what this was like on that day. You have boats 2, 3, 4 deep from way down there where you can see all the way through here. You have thousands of people on this island, probably 2,000 people. So this wasn't some abandoned, secluded island where nobody's at. Obviously, this is a Monday, and there's a few people on the backside of the island, not a lot of people here. But on 4th of July, this is a celebration. And so this wasn't a small place where 4 boys took their black friend and dropped him off and never seen him again. This place was flooded with people. Tons of people, multiple boats, multiple friend groups. I mean, everybody's here having a good time. And then the boat gets towed out because it was getting ready to sink. And so, and for what I was told, they told Nolan, get on the boat, man, get on the boat.
Sorry, had to stop it right there. So, did anybody ever hear that there wasn't a lot of people at that island?
No.
I never heard that. Anybody in the chat, did you guys ever hear that there was hardly anybody at the island?
Nope.
Or as the officer Tatum stated, that, you know, there wasn't a lot of people here. No, there was people everywhere. I've never heard that. Matter of fact, I heard it was packed. There was, from the very beginning, they said there was like 2,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do 4th of July. Bang.
So
that's where you go.
So I don't understand where he's coming from when he says, literally, see, there was a lot of people. It wasn't Destitute Island. They didn't just bring him here and drop him off and they left. Well, no one said that.
Nope.
See how he's trying to muddy the water, the narrative? He's muddying the water to get people to say, well, yeah, the people did say that, huh? I didn't know that. Well, that's because it didn't happen. No one said that because it didn't happen. At least I didn't hear no one say that.
I didn't hear anybody.
If I'm wrong, by all means, please share it with me, because
the only thing.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
From day one, they said 2,000 people is what I heard. Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
I've only heard the number fluctuate up and down. That's it. 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, 1,500. That's all I've heard. I never heard of anything saying
nothing like
there.
what he's saying there.
No, and if all you have to do is look at the multiple pictures that there is freaking boats everywhere.
Exactly. When this first happened to everybody, when Nolan went missing, and they found his body, and then they were going ahead and started the beginning of the looking into this case, what happened. From the very beginning, they said that there was a lot of people there, that there was about 2,000 people there. And the reason is because they talked to and I always get confused with this individual, but it's the boating police. I call it the boating police, the guys that are in charge of the waters and whatnot in that area when there's islands, that they were saying this thing was packed. So I'm not sure where this guy's getting off saying that, see, he wasn't just dropped off, and then he made another claim. He said that they ended up towing the boat. That never happened, according to what I read. Now, unless it was wrong, they called for a tow. They did call for a tow, taking in water. But then, to my understanding from what I read, was that they ended up calling back and canceling the tow. Am I wrong?
I heard the same. Yeah, I heard the same thing. I didn't hear that they were towed back in, but last night on Patriot Pride, they made it sound real good that they were towed back in to a certain spot, and then the boat was fixed, and then off they went again. But I thought in the beginning it was, they called and then said, no, we're okay.
So the idea is that they were called in 911 for a tow. Everybody heard the audio. Then it came out, I believe it was Cajun Navy, that said that they never actually got towed because they ended up calling back. And I'm thinking it was Cajun Navy that said that they actually called back and tell them not to worry about it, that they already got help. That's what they said. And then when they got back to where they were supposed to be to dock in, when they got towed is when they took the boat out of the water and towed it to another place. Eventually, they ended up towing that boat to another place, possibly to get fixed, and then it was towed to the residence of the owner. That's what was stated. So for him to say, see, they towed the boat, like, that's what happened. I don't even know if this guy even read any facts. You know, I don't even know. I don't know if he just took their word of what they said, or I don't know what this guy's talking about. But I'm telling you, you can bullshit the bull all you want, but you can't bullshit the bull all the time. That ain't happening. I don't buy what this man is selling, because I know in my opinion, in my professional opinion, this guy here is trying to paint a narrative and a picture that I'm not seeing anybody try to paint. That they're trying to convince people certain things happen, once again, to do what? Muddy the waters, get you to think, and then you'll have some people say, oh, well, he's an officer and it's Tatum, and he may know what he's talking about. I don't think so. In my opinion, I do not think so. Just saying. Okay, so we're going to get back to, let me read a couple real quick. Bible says, I saw a report that said the boat was partially towed and gave the speed. Then they said they took back off when they got near the home. See, and I heard that they didn't get towed at all until they got back to land. Then the boat was towed eventually to the residence. So I guess it's, yeah. And once again, that's my opinion, but he didn't make it seem like that. Mannix, captain of a charter boat, is responsible for all souls on the board. Law, says Mannix. Casey pumped out the bilge and was able to get underway 8 miles plus. L. Mannix, which would also explain why Judge was cleaning out the boat, in my opinion. Of course, that's my opinion. Some won't agree. And, I heard the same thing, L, that the judge was, but they said they towed it to the owner's residence. If that was her boat, then, yeah, that would make sense of why it was being cleaned. If it wasn't her boat, I still don't know that, so I can't comment on that either which way.
That was, as far as I know, that was their boat.
The judge's boat?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me rethink here. If it was the Titan. Yes, because it was the son.
Warren. Okay.
It was his boat. So yeah, it's hers.
So she's going to go out there at 3:00 in the morning and clean it out.
What is she cleaning out?
I have no clue.
She was inside the boat. Because usually, I mean, I've done it. When you use your boat in the salt water, you bring it home, you wash it down.
You're a judge, and you're going to go out there at 3:00 in the morning.
Exactly.
Let's be realistic, folks.
So what is she cleaning out?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
What are you out there cleaning after? Because they were drinking and all the alcohol was still on the boat. She got rid of it, whatever.
Possibly, maybe even some narcotics that were on the boat that they need to get rid of.
Correct.
That's a possibility.
That it is.
Taking on water, Tatum is the male Candace Owens, says Bible. Mannix, Bible laughing out loud. L. Judge and Dr. Prestigious family has a lot of connections, in my opinion. Again, my opinion. Well said, L. Well said.
Oh, God,
Bible, what I saw was the boat slowly towed. Then the boat took off regular speed, homebound. Then the boat went back to the 2 or 3 more times and before final 2 homes. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Bible. L. Warren, parents, boat. Yes. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, April. Manex, so suspicious. Tatum trying to clean up with crisis management move, without a doubt, in my opinion. SOS, call for a toad, but 911 heard toad, so sent out 2 frogmen. My dreamer, where was it reported that she was cleaning the boat? That was claimed. Where did we hear that, Chris?
Neighbor. Next door neighbor.
The next door neighbor.
Saw her.
The next door neighbor saw her. That's what I can't remember, but that's what Chris has just filled me in on. The next door neighbor is the one who saw her at 3:00 in the morning.
That's
Bible.
not something you do.
Yeah, that's not normal, folks. That's just not normal. Hell, it's not even more normal to do it in the daytime. You just call it somebody and have them clean it, or you have your son clean it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, any normal person, like if your mother or dad, so you guys had the boat, you go clean it. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Mom's not coming out to clean it.
Just boat, proud to be cleaning. That's a 3 a.m. It had to be something incriminating. Like Chris said earlier, alcohols, and possibly, like I said earlier, possibly narcotics. You never know.
Now, that's one thing. That's one thing I wanted to say. Do you remember seeing the video of the Cajun Navy with the mother, Nolan's mother, when they found the body?
Yes.
Did you hear what he said to her? Did you see when he said, "Hey, we found a body"? Do you remember him saying that to her?
I don't remember that, but
yeah, because he got the phone call and then he turned and and he said, "Hey, we found the body." What's this "we" stuff?
Yeah, it was actually one of the boater,
the park ranger guy.
Yes, they're the ones who found it.
So my dude, what's this? We found her. Well, you didn't find her.
Yeah, maybe,
I don't particularly like the Cajun Navy, but
right.
Yeah, that just kind of
maybe it was synonymous to we were all looking for her.
Yeah.
We were all looking for him and we found. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That is a very good point. Why he was even talking a whole bunch as he was talking to everybody, because he was talking to everybody.
Yep.
That guy that was, I guess, in charge of that chapter or whatever. It was like, dude, you're saying more than you need to, Ole, good to see. Okay, let's go ahead and play this next part. I just had to point that out, everybody. Once again, if it sounds like I'm picking on him, it's because I am. Because of the things that he's saying doesn't jive to me how that normally would operate as far as what he's trying to imply, what he's trying to suggest, and what he's trying to literally characterize and then normalize some of these behaviors that were happening on this island. Like, hey, happens all the time. It may happen and it's all good until something goes wrong, then it's not good. And that's just the way it works. All right, let's go ahead and start.
Get on the freaking boat, and he decided, because he's an adult, that he was going to stay behind. And all the boys that they've been accusing, and they saying it had something to do with his death, they were all gone at 4:30. They were all gone. And they told Nolan to get on the boat. He didn't. And then there was a report of somebody seeing Nolan around 6:30-ish. And so for them to come out and claim these lies, won't take the time to come to Horn Island, won't take the trip out here to figure out what happened, won't talk to anybody, pushing an agenda is wrong. And that's the reason why.
I'm sorry, guys, but I'm telling you, I'm just calling it like I see it. Go ahead, Chris.
I haven't heard anybody say the boys did anything.
I didn't either.
I haven't heard them accuse.
I mean, I made some opinions.
So haven't I. But I haven't heard anybody.
I haven't seen anybody say they did it.
No. And I haven't heard. So, and my other question is, they're not taking the time to come out here and see what happened. What the hell are you going to see what happened on the island? There's nothing there for you to see.
Well, you know what he's doing, Chris? He's trying to paint now the media that they are the problem because they didn't come out there, even though, like you just said, there's nothing out there. So why is the media going to come out there when there's nothing out there?
Now, if there was buildings and some cameras or something out there, then the media would be there.
So here's the other thing.
But
go ahead. Here's the other thing that bothers me is that he says that Nolan was 18 years old. He was a grown adult. He made his decision to stay there. He said, I'm 18 and I can make my own decision. That's not what he said. He said, I wanted to hang out with the girl.
Right.
If you believe what the guys are saying, he said, I wanted to hang out with the girl. Right. And she said that he walked back or went back towards the boat. My point is, you got to look into this because he's making it sound now like, in my opinion, he's making it sound like, see, Nolan just had an attitude. I'm 18. I'll just do what I want to do. I'm not going on the boat. That's exactly how he said it, with that same attitude. Nolan said, I'm 18. I can do what I want. No, he didn't. He didn't say that. That's not it. That's not. If you listen to the mom and dad and you listen to some of the videos that you see, everybody says what? Nolan was a kind individual. He loved people. He loved making people laugh. He was a good kid. This guy here, in my opinion, is trying to paint Nolan like he's some, hey, yeah, I'm 18. I'll do whatever I want. I'm staying back here. Why'd you add all that in there? Because that doesn't make any sense. Stick to what you know. What you know is that the young men with him said, hey, he wanted to stay back. He kind of liked the girl. He wanted to talk to her. That's what he should have said. Nolan wanted to talk to this girl, and he decided he was going to stay back. And now he doesn't say anything about the girl. He doesn't say anything about the girl saying, no, he went back to the boat, right? He doesn't bring up that to show that there's a contradiction. He just wants to leave it at one side, okay? Nolan decided to stay back. Really? Because the girl said, in reality, the girl said she watched him walk because he had to leave with his friends, and he told her he was leaving. He had to go, and he walked towards the boat.
Right.
So why is this guy trying once again so desperately? He wants to paint the media as the problem. He wants to paint these. He wants to create the narrative the way he wants you to see it. He's not telling you exactly verbatim how it actually unfolded. And that's what gets people confused. And that's what gets people thinking things they shouldn't be thinking, in my opinion. Just saying.
Yeah. But before you start that,
go ahead.
And I wasn't really kidding about the sleep I didn't get. So we had a real quick, because I'm gonna actually jump off.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
And really say hello. We had a flood at the school last night, so I was there till freaking 3:30 this morning. So I going to sleep now. So I'll put you on and I'll fall asleep to you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
thank you. Appreciate it.
But yeah, well, I mean, you put me to sleep, so I mean that's nice. I'll get to go to bed quicker.
Oh, gee, thanks. So. I'm glad I can help you in some way.
Well, I mean, you're good for things.
That's mighty kind of you.
So I will awaken later and I will catch you at 5.
All right.
But yeah, I'll be thinking about you when I'm sleeping. You know what I mean?
Very much,
I wonder how he's doing, keeping the channel going. Is he doing good? All those good things.
Absolutely.
So I'm leaving you in good hands, though.
Thank you.
The mods have everything under control.
You got it. They always got everything under control, without a doubt.
Yes, they do. So hey, thank you again. I will see you at 5. And chat, love you guys. Thank you. Have a good night. See you later.
God bless, my brother. Semper Fi.
All right, Semper Fi, my man.
So, Song is in the house. Thank you, Song, for being here. Appreciate you. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for coming in. Do you guys understand what I'm saying, or do you think then I'm like way off base, because I get what I'm saying. I just want to make sure you guys know what I'm saying. Norma, Officer Tatum, Tarek. Okay, that Tatum, I've been hearing about him a lot, says Tarek. Welcome in, Tarek. Al, so sorry, Chris. Get some rest. Tarek, thank you, Norma. Whiskey, he's not an officer anymore. He quit. Yeah, go figure. Go figure. Thank you for that, Whiskey. I'm a dreamer, says rest well. L. Manis, good night, Chris. Norma, bye, Chris. Get some rest. Annie, rest, slept tight. Bible, Chris. Tarek, bye, Chris. So that's basically what we have so far. Now, guys, I'm just trying to parse this as down the line as I can. But I'm not going to sugarcoat something if I think something is not being, or something is deliberately being misrepresented. My opinion. Debbie says no one is accusing, but when things don't add up, it's a cause of concern. Should be what detectives do. What are we supposed to do? Not care? This is how questions are answered. Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate that. Now let's go back to the video, everybody.
While I came out here, I wanted to see for myself, what did this look like? What could have happened? You know, does the stories line up based on what I've seen and what I've heard from people that live here that were involved in this situation? This is where the lie started. People were putting out on social media, knowing that they're lying, that this is what it was like on a day that Nolan and his friends came out here to Horn Island. And if it was 4 or 5 people and they came out here and Nolan was with them, and maybe it was a few people out here like it is today, and Nolan came up missing, then maybe it would be suspicious. But they didn't take the time to give context to the people because they're evil and they're liars. So if it was like that right now, when the situation happened.
All right, again, once again, there's the accusations. People are liars. No one ever said that this island was, destitute, like there was nobody there except for people. No one ever claimed that. No one ever said that when he got there that day to do this interview, right now, currently, when he did that interview, as he's talking, no one ever said that they're lying, that that's what they said it looked like. That, no, it didn't look like that on the 4th of July, boats were everywhere. No one said that there wasn't boats everywhere. No one even said, oh yeah, see how dead it is here? For better lack of words, see how there's no one here? They're lying. It was busy. Well, no one ever said that it wasn't busy. No one ever said there wasn't people all over the place. Once again, because he has an issue with the media, he wants to paint it as the media. They lie. I've heard this before a lot of times in the last so many years about media being a problem. Look, I don't get what his point is other than to normalize and humanize these individuals, all of them, and I'm not saying they did anything wrong because we don't know, okay? But my God, this is what you call an over unaliving. This is an over unaliving. He is going way out of bounds, and he has one agenda, and that's to make everything look like it's everybody else's fault, to include Nolan, when in fact it may be Nolan's fault what happened. It might be. It may be Nolan, literally had an accident. It might be. But he wants to put no doubt that there could be another side to that story, which is probably where everybody is thinking. So I don't understand why he's trying to paint the picture that everybody else is saying things that I've never heard. I've covered this case from the beginning. I have never heard anyone say these things. If you guys have, please tell me. Tell me. please, because I like the truth. I want to know the truth, but I can tell you on my experience, this guy is way off base, in my opinion. Just had to share that with you guys. Sorry, I keep stopping it, but if I don't say it, I'll forget it. He was an officer in Tucson. Go figure. L, former LE, I think, Manex. April, he was an officer in Tucson. Go figure. Yeah. Okay. Now we know where some of this mentality comes from. Unfortunately, in my opinion, Warren's mom and dad see that people are talking about the case online, wanted to nip it, get people to stop talking by having him do these interviews with well-known former LE YouTuber, in my opinion. Very well said, L, because I almost can agree. I agree with you 100% that this is probably something that was requested of him to do. And, I'm sure he had no problems doing it. He had no problems doing it. I can't say anything more than that, because if I do, it wouldn't be right. I'm just saying that to the exact point, yes, I think he definitely was asked to do this interview to go the way he is taking it. And the sad thing about it is, well, it's not working, because it's just not working. People can see right through it. And especially when others see it and they're able to point it out. All right, let me go ahead and just read this, and then we'll go back. In my opinion, where's mom? April, no way. L, truth, look it up. Oh my God, says L. That's him used to work at Tucson PD. AJ, good info, April. Very well, good info, without a doubt. Casey, observe the drop-off past Sandy Beach. That would be quite a swim to a boat leaving. Current temperature, without a doubt. Well said, Casey. April, his dad was a deputy sheriff also. Go figure. Go figure. Deb, he's confusing and trying to set things up. He starts out wanting to find answers, then he's blaming others for making up untruths and lies. It is so obvious. Well said, Deb. Well said. Click that like, everybody. Click that like. Click that like and subscribe. Be a devil pup in the channel. Let's get all those clicks going, everybody. Let's get those algorithms going. Deb, 100% agree. L, 100% agree. Deb, exactly for the camera. April, he reassigned from Tucson in 2017. Brooke, this interview gives me the same vibes that Luke's interview gave me. Oh, this is damaging, folks. This is damaging. This is in my opinion, this is a very damaging, because he's going out of his way and trying to normalize behaviors that were done when we know that they are illegal. And I'm talking about the underage drinking and the narcotics, if they were used. And if they find that in his system, guarantee you those people are going to be looked at. They're going to do an investigation to find out, because someone's going to be held accountable for this. That's just how it is. Bible, Brooke, yes. Casey, I agree. Chef Tatum tossing a blurb salad, without a doubt. Well said, Casey. Good point, Brooke. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and get it started again.
Happened, I can see how people had a concern. But you got to replay this moment with thousands of people here. If anything would have happened directly involving Nolan and his friends, you can't tell me that thousands of people wouldn't have seen anything happen. And so that's pretty much why I wanted to come here and show you guys. This is what they want you to believe it was like on that day, which is a lie. They want you to believe they came to a secluded island, just 4 of them, and then Nolan is left behind, and then his body's washed up on shore.
Once again, bull-face untruth, in my opinion. What he just stated is a bull-face untruth, in my opinion. Okay? No one said that's what it looked like. No one said Nolan was taken out there, dropped off, and then they left, and he just got stuck out there by himself, probably tried to swim and ended up becoming unalive. No one has said that. No one has said that. Once again, he wants to confuse everything that's happening to put that thought, because at some point, they're going to gather all this information, everybody. Let me explain this to you, because I know you already know, but I'm going to explain it anyway. At some point, they're going to get all this information from the independent and the sheriff's office, and they're going to combine that information, and they're going to agree on what they agree and what they disagree. And here's what's going to happen. The DA is going to present this to a grand jury to see if there's evidence that there was foul play, right? So what is he doing? Who is the grand jury made up of? Who is the grand jury made up of? So now you put all this misinformation out there. So what? In hopes to get that positive verdict that there's not enough information here. It was an accident. Think about that for a minute. Think about that. This guy ain't too sharp, in my opinion. He is not sharp at all, in my opinion. That's just how I see it, in my opinion. I just had to point that out.
And nobody knows what happened. Nobody could have seen what happened but the boys. It's a flat out lie.
I run a podcast solo. No producer, no editor, no tech skills, just Riverside. I get high quality.
Is there anything that you want to say, you want people to know about this whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's not from here, it's kind of hard to understand, where the island drops off and how the island works. But, there's plenty of people out here, especially on the 4th of July. This is where people come out to celebrate. And, I mean, if you fill the water, you can see right here, Brandon, where it drops off. I mean, you can see literally where it drops off. So, I mean, it goes from about waist deep water right there to neck deep. And then it drops from neck deep all the way to like 17, 20 foot. I mean, we weren't even a quarter mile out the island. And when we were leaving, and I mean, it was 30 foot of water.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we're walking towards the east right now, but if you walk down to the west, that's where the west tip of the island is. And that's where the current picks up very, very bad.
People talk about the phone situation. I want to, because the way you articulate it, I just walked in the water with my pants.
Right.
They're wet. And you can tell right away that if you're hanging out in the water, it doesn't appear, in my opinion, that you would have your phone on you. Is that typical for people to have their phones, or?
No, I mean, people come out here, especially on the 4th and, Memorial Day, days like that, they come out here to celebrate, and people get on the water to be off their phones, first off. Second off, if I'm sitting waist deep in water, and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat, in a lake, if you're sitting on a pond, if no one's getting out of the water with their phone in their hand, unless, it's to take a quick picture. But most of the pictures taken on the 4th of July were on the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, and, salt water, if you drop your phone in salt water, most of the time you're not going to get it back. Yeah. I mean, especially the water's murky right now because there's been a lot of rain. You can't see, the visibility isn't good. The water isn't clear like it was last year around this time. And, no one has their phone though, usually. I mean, unless you're crazy, I'm not walking around with my phone in my hand. They've been walking around Horn Island, How
many people left the phone on the boat? Was it just his phone when y'all left, or other people have phones on the boat?
Absolutely not. Like there was at least, I rode out here on a different boat, like I told you, and I grabbed my phone when I left the Palm Beach to get on the boat with Triton. To get on the boat with Wyatt because we were having, boat issues. And when I got on the boat, there was phones everywhere on the console. Everywhere. There was everybody's phone that was sitting around the boat was on the console. Like we had phones that we didn't even know whose they were, you know, and people just leave their phone, especially when people are drinking and, they're not in the right state of mind. a lot of people are like, oh, I'll just leave my phone and I'll get it later, and that's the way it is around here. You don't take your phone and walk around the island. There's plenty of phones on the boat and, spread out between the 3 boats that we had. And I mean, we had 20 plus people on the spread between our 3 boats. So of course, everybody's phone was on the boat. I never saw someone in the water that day sitting with their phone in their hand, scrolling on anything or even taking pictures in the water. Yeah, someone might hop out the boat. A lot of girls like to take pictures, in the water, and so do guys, but, girls want to take pictures in the water. Half a second, you might hop out the boat and be like, oh, I'm snapping this picture of myself or of someone else.
Okay, so now we have Warren talking about the question, how many phones, do people usually have their phones in the water? Well, let's just be realistic, everybody. No one's going to go ahead and, not think about if I have my phone and I'm in the water, it might get wet. Okay, that's common sense. That's common sense. But here's the thing that bothers me with this. So Tatum asked him about how many phones were on the boat. He says, roughly about 20. People just leave their phones. No one takes pictures. Most pictures that are being taken are taken from the boats. No one wants to lose their phone in the water because this is salt water. And if you lose it, see how murky it is, dark it is. You won't never find it. So no one really wants to take their phone out. Occasionally, you'll have someone who will get off the boat. Occasionally, you'll have girls, they like to take pictures in the water. Okay, so girls like to take pictures in the water. Okay, and some guys, like to take pictures in the water. You can't have it both ways. You can't sit there and say on one hand, yeah, everybody had their phones on the boat, and then come back and say, well, no one does that out here. I mean, they're coming here to stay off their phones. They're coming here to go ahead and get away from that. They're coming here for the party. Really? Because most young people are going to take pictures all the time. And they may not take pictures. We all know for exact fact that according to Nolan's mom, he loved Snapchat. He loved taking pictures. He loved doing videos and whatnot. So this is my take. He says that there's no one really taking pictures. That Tatum asked if in fact that was people out there taking. He said, no, he goes, everybody leaves their phones on the boat. There's about 20. And, when I didn't go on that last boat. He says he wants to say Tristan, but then he changes it to Wyatt's boat. And then he says, I grabbed my phone, but, they just stay there. People just stay there and they get them later. So you are Nolan and you're going to leave your phone on there. He didn't ask him, how did he end up with the phone? Do you follow me, everybody? The question that needed to be asked was, hey, so if people don't take pictures and everything and they leave them on the boat, okay, so they leave them on the boat. Yeah, they leave them on the boat. They don't want to get them wet. They don't want to drop them and lose them, whatever. But he doesn't ask him, then how did you end up with his phone if you were on a different boat? You were on a different boat. You weren't on this boat. So what boat did he have his phone on? Did he clarify that? Very important point. What phone was Nolan's phone on? Whose boat was it on? Was it on the boat that he came out with? Because it wasn't the same boat that Wyatt was on. He just clarified that. So what boat did the phone that literally Nolan had, what boat was it on? Okay. And if he's not on the same boat, how did he end up with Nolan's boat or with Nolan's phone? I mean, it just doesn't add up. It really doesn't add up. Okay. You're not on the boat that Nolan came on. Nolan, if he said, I'm going to leave my phone in the boat, he's going to leave it in the boat that he's in. right? Because that's who he's probably going back with. And then all of a sudden, Tatum doesn't ask him, well, how did you end up with this phone then if it was on a different boat? See how he left that part out? Something to think about, everybody. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire. And that right there. And then Warren says, well, some girls come out here and they like taking pictures in water. Okay, so now you're saying that there is people that do take their phones out in the water, especially girls, because they like taking pictures in the water. And then some guys also like it. But you just said no one takes their phones out there. Explain that to me, please. The interview gives me the same vibes as Luke's interview. Bible, Brooke, yes. Casey, I agree. Chef Tatum, Whiskey, Deb, thousands, Debris, Debs. The boat party keeps growing. I'm a dreamer. I can't believe his family allowed him to do this interview. So incriminating. In my opinion, this is not as bad as LD's in the Nancy Guthrie case. It's not as bad, but it's pretty damn bad. It's not as bad, but it's not pretty damn good either, by no way means. When I see miniature piano grains scattered in the nest of eggs, I always suspect foul play. Well said, KC. 1985. I'm a dreamer. I think the family encouraged it personally, and I helped set it up. Very, very possible, L. Good opinion. L, that might be right. L, it just looks worse from my point of view on him and his parents. Without a doubt. Well said. Barney, wow, just wow. I would get banned if I said where this case might go. I mean, this is ridiculous, folks. This is so bad of an interview. He did no justice for himself, and sure as hell, in my opinion, Tatum did him no justice, without a doubt, in my opinion. Casey, peeps jump back in the boat when a baby Ruth floats by. We all know what a baby Ruth is. In my opinion, Dreamer, that is what I don't understand. AJ, I can see why some would leave a phone on a boat, for sure, for going in the water. But if he is going to stay behind, and I can see him leaving the phone to go in the water, but no one is going to stay behind on the island with no phone. Well said, AJ, well said. I'm a Dreamer says, is he saying he left on the boat he didn't come on? I'm confused. What he's saying is, no, he's saying that he left on the boat that he came on. He was saying that he was going to say Tristan's boat or Trish, and he stopped. Right when he said Trish, he stopped. He said, I mean Wyatt's boat. I left on Wyatt's boat. We went back. That's the boat he came on. He said, I left on the boat that I came on. Okay. Nolan did not come on that same boat that he came when he came out there. So you would have to believe that Nolan is going to say, I'm going to take my phone out of this boat, go put it on this other boat that I didn't come out with. Why? What is the reasoning Nolan would have felt that he needed to take his phone off this boat that he came out with some friends to put it on this boat that he didn't come out with that were supposed to be his friends? Does that make any sense? Because it sure as hell don't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense. He contradicts himself without a doubt, L. Big time. Bible, right, DD? How did he get the phones when Nolan was on a different boat? It makes no sense. No sense, Bible, whatsoever. I think this man literally, I think Tatum has actually hurt this man's by doing this interview that has done nothing but damage his credibility, in my opinion. Deb, I'm not sure what kids have living by the ocean. I wouldn't think they have a waterproof case or something or the phone because they do not go to the beach often. Don't phones go in one's own beach bag? Usually. And where do you normally leave a beach bag? In the sand of the beach, right? That's why they call it a beach bag. So that's what I don't understand either. It makes no sense unless they do things differently in Mississippi, of course. Casey, my phone is waterproof just like mine depends. Oh, Lordy. Bro, it'll be hard to top LDs. Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to go ahead and beat that because that's the reason he's on my number one list at the very top. Tarek, Warren showed no emotion on the interview, and Nolan was his best friend since elementary school, since the 8th grade. Seems odd to me. Yeah. The whole conversation is just a matter of fact. Yeah, this is what happened. Yeah, this is what goes on. This is what happens. Your best friend just became unalive, and there's no sense of urgency on let's find who did this. Interesting. Deb, agree with AJ. Remember, he was saying, give me my phone. Yeah, somebody had to have their phone out there because somebody was fighting and arguing about a phone. Give me my freaking phone. What are you doing? Whoever that person was, doesn't matter. It just states the obvious. There was people out there with their phone. People want to capture a moment. I mean, let's be honest, everybody. You're out there, you're a bunch of friends, you have these girls with you. They're all in bikinis and whatnot. You're taking pictures with them. You're capturing the moment. Come on. That's what young people do. So to sit there and say, oh, no, that's not what happened. You can't sell that. You can't sell that to me. There's no way in hell you're going to sell that to me. Bible, did Nolan tell those on the boat he rode out on that he was riding back on another boat? He didn't ride on another boat. He rode back on the boat he came in, Wyatt's boat. Hell, Casey laughing out loud. Deb said they would have beach bags because they'd be gone all day. Probably would have water, maybe a bottle of water. If you needed to come back to the boat to get another bottle, you would. But you'd take, you wouldn't have a bottle with a beach bag with all this other stuff. You just put it all in one bag, go out there, set it down. That's where my bag's at. I'll get it when I get it. Makes perfect sense to me. Damn, Brooke. And he drug his poor mama into the situation as well. Well, mama got involved by her, in my opinion, by her own stupidity. I'm a dreamer. None of this makes sense. Friends for years and never met the parents is strange to me. I never heard Miss Wansley say she did not know who his guy friends were. You don't think they've seen each other? Here's a kicker for you. Remember, the judge, the stepmom of Warren, said that her and Miss Wansley went to school together. They graduated together like they were friends. Remember that? But all of a sudden, they don't know each other. Makes no sense to me. Is Warren the only friend of Nolan's doing interviews? At this point, he's the only one that I have seen. And after this, I guarantee you there probably won't be anybody else. There won't be anybody else. And not with Tatum. That's for damn sure. Tarek, I believe so, except I think the girl did. I forgot her name. I think you're talking about Katie, right? Katie McCormick. Bible. So did Warren ride back on a different boat that he rode out on? No, he said he rode on the boat that he came out, which was Tarek's boat. That's what I gathered. That's what I made sense of what he said. Let's see. Let me see if I can go back.
I mean, everywhere. Like, I mean, there was everybody's phone that was sitting around the boat was on the console. Like, we had phones that we didn't even know whose they were, you know, and people just leave their phone, especially when people are drinking and, you know, they're not in the right state of mind. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll just leave my phone and I'll get it later, you know, and that's the way it is around here. You know, you don't take your phone and walk around the island. You know, there's plenty of phones on the boat and, you know, spread out between the 3 boats that we had. And I mean, we had 20 plus people on the spread between our 3 boats. So of course, everybody's phone was on the boat. I never saw someone in the water that day sitting with their phone in their hand, scrolling on anything or even taking pictures in the water. Yeah, someone might hop out the boat. You know, a lot of girls like to take pictures, you know, in the water. And so do guys, but, you know, girls want to take pictures in the water. Half a second, you might hop out the boat and be like, oh, I'm snapping this picture of myself or of someone else. But as soon as I get back in the boat, I'm putting my phone up and I'm getting back in the water and I'm hanging out with my friends.
Yeah, that's just common sense, man. And describe to me what the day was like. I saw a video online. How hectic was it out here? I mean, right now it's barren. There's not a lot of people out here, but clearly that's not what it was on the 4th of July. So like how dense was it with people here?
Well, I mean, you look at all the videos, you know, that are spread out online, and a lot of them, you know, you can't believe what you see all the time online. You know that better than anybody, but I mean, there was boats lined up all the way down the island, and there was rows. There was a first row, there's a second row. We were in the 3rd row where it drops off, and then there was even boats in front of us. And this went all the way down towards the east end of the island, and then there was people on the east tip. And we're on the north side now, but there was people on the south side too, lined up all the way down.
Some moms want to build income from home. They just don't want to post, pitch, or be online all the time. And that's exactly why Amazon.
And if you talk to anybody on the coast about this, they know that. I mean, 4th of July, this is the hot spot. This is where people want to be. This is where people want to come out, hang out with their family and friends. And
people say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left him. I see reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat. You told him to get on the boat. He didn't. What's the truth in that?
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes in. So I opened the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. There's water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit and which is the, you know, by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So obviously we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up because I think it's important for people to have the context.
So once again, there seems to be an untruth. And if not an untruth, a misrepresentation. So Warren says that he asked, Tatum asked him, what is the story about you guys leaving him? Some people are saying, you know, that you guys just left him there, or that he just left him there, or he stayed there. What's the truth? And I'm paraphrasing some of these things. But then Warren says, no, he wanted to go ahead and stay back to be with a girl. And she confirmed that. What did she confirm? Does anybody know what that girl confirmed? What Katie confirmed? Because he said Katie confirmed that. Confirmed what? Confirmed what he said, that literally Nolan was going to hang out with this girl. And the girl, which is Katie, confirmed that. Okay. What did Katie confirm? Let me try to re-jog your memory. Katie confirmed that he told her he had to go and was going towards the boat to get back on the boat. That's what Katie confirmed. That is all Katie confirmed. And then her mom and her sister came out and also doubled down on that, and they confirmed that. So where in the hell is this coming out that Katie confirmed that, yeah, Nolan was going to stay with her? That's not what she said. Unless there's another story out there, that's not what she said. She said he was leaving. He told me he had to go because his friends were leaving, and he started to go towards their boat. That is all she said. She didn't confirm that Nolan was going with her. She said the opposite, that he was going with the friends. Just saying, it don't make sense, everybody. Huck Finn offered me a raft ride back to mighty Mississippi. L1, for the most part, they're all staying quiet. Maybe the lawyers advised them not to do interviews. Well, you think? I almost guarantee you that's what they do. Could be turret. Bible, he's putting Nolan and himself in two different boats going out, but the same boat coming inland. Makes no sense, Bible. I think he's just got a lot of things messed up. Yeah, can't believe everything you see online. I mean, you know better than anyone else. Interesting thing to say. Bible, well said, Barney. Bible, even though Nolan didn't get on the boat, he's saying he was one of those telling Nolan to get on the boat. That's where he's putting himself on Nolan at the same boat going inland. But the phone, to my understanding, was on the boat because they always leave their phones on the boats that they come out with, right? So the phone is actually on the other boat. Melly, have a good day, everyone. Had to head out to bring my cat to the vet. Thank you, Melly, for being here. Great show, Dee. Thank you so much, Melly. Appreciate you. Always appreciate you. AJ, thank you, Melly. You too. AJ, cat, chat soon. L, take care, Melly. Hope your cat does well at the vet. April, bye, Melly. Have a great day. AJ, okay. Love you, Melly. Barney, have a great day, Melly. Now let me go back. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I mean, he just said, literally, that Katie, the girl that Nolan was talking to, confirmed that he decided to stay with her. And then he said she confirmed that. I never heard her confirm anything. I heard her say the opposite. That Nolan was leaving with them and started to walk towards the boat. She assumed he got on the boat. He mentioned Katie, the girl, a few times. Melly, wish you well and your cat, says Annie. April, he mentioned Katie, the girl, a few times. Casey, which of you, if your son asked for a phone, would give him an anvil? Oh, Lord. Melly, thank you. April, Barney, love you all. Melly, Ann, thank you. Love you all. Annie, Melly, love you too. I mean, you guys follow me, right? Tell me you follow me, because she didn't say that. How does she? He said she confirmed it. He said, Warren said, Katie confirmed the fact that Nolan was with her, that he was going with her. She didn't confirm that. She said the opposite. Unless I got that wrong, in my opinion. Let's go back to the next part.
Of like what it was on that day, what happened, what didn't happen. And the beauty of all of this is that you guys have evidence to prove that, of course, you asked Nolan to come on and different things like that. So, but anyway, man, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Always.
giving me a rundown of kind of what it was like on that day.
Right.
And hopefully people can understand what the truth is
Right.
and make their own decision on facts.
Right. I mean, based off like, you know, people, there's not a lot of people that are from the Mississippi Gulf Coast that don't understand Horn Island and don't understand the way boating works. And, you know, boating is a tight-knit community. I like to fish a lot, and, you know, there's, you know, everybody, a lot of people know a lot of people. Everybody knows everybody. I know a lot of fishermen on the Gulf Coast. They know me and my buddies because we like to go in the water all the time. I mean, that's what we do in the summer. And, I mean, a lot of people from the Gulf Coast know the truth behind, oh, you don't take your phone out the boat. You know, the little facts. It's a difficult subject. This Horn Island's like 11 miles long, you know, not to be exact, but around 11 miles long. It's not like this is a sliver of an island. It's a quarter mile. It's like a sandbar. No, this goes on to, even if we came around this corner right here, Brandon, we couldn't even see the end of the island.
Oh, really?
It's that long.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
I thought that was the end right there.
No. I mean, it goes all the way down there. And I mean, it's a big island. There's a lot of people out here. And I mean, that's the truth. That's the way it was.
Before live, we were
All right, everybody. So see now, literally, that was what this whole interview so far. Now there's another part coming out, but here's what I want to leave you with. Why didn't Mr. Tatum here ask the question that everybody has been asking? How did you, Warren, end up with the phone? Nolan's phone. How did you end up with Nolan's phone? And how did Jax, your friend, how did he end up with Nolan's keys? And then maybe ask the question, when you talk to Miss Wansley, if in fact it was him, or when someone contacted Miss Wansley to see if Nolan had got back, why didn't they give Miss Wansley the phone? Or why didn't you call Miss Wansley and tell her, hey, I just need to let you know I got his phone. He left it on the boat. Why were things deleted from that phone or missing out of that phone? Now, we don't know for a fact. We'll know once they go through that evidence. But think about it. Why? There are so many questions that weren't asked that could have been asked. The biggest one is, Warren, how did you end up with Nolan's phone? Well, and he would have said whatever. And then he could have said, followed up with, why didn't you go ahead and call the mom to let her know where he was last at, so that was, and give her the phone, that way she could go ahead and maybe get out there, her dad or his dad could get out there and pick him up. Why? See, that's what I'm talking about, folks. A lot of this information is the details, the little nuggets, as I like to call it. It's those little things that you have to ask the question, why? I think this was nothing more than a total disaster of an interview. Total disaster. If anything, my God, I think he more incriminated himself than not, because on a few things he said, oh, yeah, you know, when you're out here and you're drinking, you know, you're going to put your phone on the boat because, you know, you're not in your right mind when you're drinking. It's pretty obviously they were all drinking. How did they get the liquor? How did they get the beer? How did they get the drinks they were drinking? How did they get the alcohol? Did he ask him the question, hey, Warren, it was someone had posted or people were posting that there was drugs on the boat. You guys were doing drugs on the boat. Could you explain that to me? Why didn't he ask them that question? Let me explain why he didn't ask that question. Because he didn't want that information. Even though it's been out there, he did not want that information to come out. He did not want to keep regurgitating that information, because the more you hear it, the more it sticks in your mind. The less you hear it, the less it sticks to your mind. out of sight, out of mind type of deal. He asked the most two important questions he could have asked. And then at the very beginning, did you guys get the very first video we showed? You hear him asking the question, I think it was something like, did you unalive Nolan, or did you guys unalive? Something about unaliving Nolan. And then, of course, it went on to the next, or the video. Never heard a response to that. Never heard a response to that. Now, I'm not saying that he did or he didn't, because I don't know. But look, I can tell you this was damaging interview. Damaging. And it shows that he definitely, because he said we packed the ice, we put the ice, put the drinks in there. Well, where'd you get the drinks from? Who'd you get the drinks from? Are we talking about we all had some Snapples, or we all had some, some of them juice boxes or whatever? Or you're talking about liquor? Because it seemed like Tatum was talking about they were all drinking. They were all partying. Young kids do that all the time. They party. This doesn't make it right. Like I said before, it's all good until something goes wrong, and then someone's held accountable. I'm a Dreamer said, I didn't hear her say that. Neither did I. As far as saying that she confirmed that Nolan was with her, that Nolan was going to be with her. I never heard that at all. Misrepresentation, in my opinion. April, Nolan's mother said Katie told he it was a hello and goodbye, and he walked to the boat. Yep, that's it. So where is this? Katie confirmed it, or the girl confirmed it. That is on the mother's first interview. April, and the mother hasn't said anything different. I remember hearing her say that, April. Dad, this island is quite an interesting place. I'd be afraid to get left behind and stranded. Deb, I agree. I wouldn't go there personally. Not after hearing what I've heard about it. Casey, did Officer Tatum know who found the hide a key to T4 DVDs? Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, I have no idea. Brooke, devil is in the details, without a doubt. Truth Warrior is in the house. Good morning, good early morning or afternoon. Good to have you, Truth Warrior. Good morning, Devil Dog 88. To see you again. Hello, mods and chats. Welcome in, my friend. Welcome in. Don't forget to click the likes, subscribe, and if you're a subscriber, be a Devil Pup investigator. Appreciate all of you. Hi, Truth. Good to see ya. Truth, Annie, Truth. If you haven't hit the like, please do share the channel with friends. We can share and gain knowledge from one another, without a doubt. Well said, L. True, 1985, AJ, Annie Burrow, great to see you all. Jeannie, good point. Annie, I wouldn't go there either. L, seems too isolated there on the island for me. April, hello, Truth. Jacqueline, hello. Welcome in, Jacqueline. Good to have you. Truth Warrior. Hey. So, Truth Warrior, April, left now. Whoops, sorry, hit send too quick. So, the idea that this was supposed to help him or normalize him, in my opinion, didn't do none of that. The idea that all Tatum did was he was blaming everyone. He was blaming the media. He was telling things, in my opinion, that were not truthful. Like, people were saying there was no one here, that they just dropped them off and they left. No one said that. People are thinking that there was nobody on the island. No one said that. They said from the very beginning there was about 2,000 people. Jacqueline, hit the likes, everybody. Hit the likes. Truth, April. So the idea that you're going to hear this type of information is just ridiculous. Okay? It's ridiculous. The idea that they're going to spew this is ridiculous. And I understand. I totally understand. Thank you, El, for supporting the channel. Thumbs up with 10 gems. Thank you so much. The idea that you're going to go ahead and act like, it's not a big deal what they were doing. It's never a big deal until it is a big deal. And you ask me what I mean by that? It's never a big deal until something goes wrong. Then it's a big deal. Sassy Chick, thank you for the membership. Appreciate you. Thank you. So the idea that literally they're going to paint the picture that this is how it was. I mean, they were trying, Tatum was trying to set the narrative that this was everybody but what it was. That this is everything that happened, but it didn't. This is everything that it said, but it didn't. This is everything that's been misrepresented, but it wasn't. In my opinion, all those things, definitely not one of those things, in my opinion, did he get his point across, because people are not stupid. They see what's going on. You guys are too smart. You have common sense, and there's no way in hell that anybody is going to tell me that that's what they were trying to do, that everything he was trying to do was just get the truth. This was nothing more than blame everybody. Look over here, folks. Look over here. Just don't look here. Look over here. We're over here. No. Reality is this. That man who tried to do justice for Warren did a horrible job, in my opinion, in the interview. And that man's claims about all these things, I not heard none of those things. And I've said it and I've stopped it, and I'll say it again. In my opinion, it was not good. Hi, Sassy Chick. Welcome in. April, please click like, subscribe if you haven't. Casey, when I drive off the boat's IQ goes up and my shoe size goes down. Well said. Annie, these boys were schooled what to say pretty much, I believe. You're probably right on the money there, Annie. April, Wars, hi, Sassy Chick, L, Casey, Annie. And I think if Nolan would have been behind, he would find a way to ask somebody. Barney, I cannot believe he put out such an interview. This was pathetic. Was foolish, in my opinion, Barney, says Al. This was so pathetic because all he did is he made it known that they were all drinking, friends, plural. He made it known that it wasn't a big deal. He tried to humanize it, in my opinion, try to make it seem like that's acceptable when it's not. The big question was, he didn't ask, how did Warren end up with the phone? He didn't ask, was there drugs on the boat? He didn't ask those questions. Two of the main things that I'm telling you, if this was an accident and he became unalive, Nolan, by drowning, this is going to have to be answered. They're going to have to investigate this even further to find out who bought the alcohol, because that's going to be an underlying factor if he was that inebriated, being Nolan. And if they find any type of drugs in his system, which he doesn't strike me as a drug kid, but I know alcohol can make you do a lot of things, then someone's going to find out. They're going to have to look into who provided those drugs. Just saying. A song in my heart says they just need to pick which boy talks the most. And we saw him right here. He's trying to cover his arse. He's trying to cover his arse. Why? Because, it's that, I'm going to get ahead of this. I'm not going to be put in this category. And all he did is dug a hole so much deeper. Literally. Barney says, indeed. Annie, did he ask about keys? I did not see it at all. No, he didn't ask him, how did Jax end up with the keys? He didn't ask him, hey, Warren, how did you end up with this phone? None of that. Dev says, was Nolan a swimmer? Yes, Nolan was a swimmer. Was he a great swimmer? I don't know. But his parents said he had taken swimming lessons and he could swim. I just don't know to what degree. In other words, I don't know if he was good or if he was just good enough to get by or if he was a Mark Spitz, if you don't know who that is, that's an Olympic swimmer. I don't know. I really don't know. But I do know that they said he didn't know how to swim. So once again, you guys have just literally, we walked through this, we went through this. I mean, I know we've been on this case for a while, but when there's news that comes out like this, it'd be a dereliction of my job not to point these out. And you guys literally need to know exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. And granted, a lot of these, we can say opinions, but here's the thing. This interview did not help Warren. It hurt Warren. And the ideas of the mistruths or the exaggerations or the, misrepresentation, they were all there, everybody. They were all there on display. Barney L. Indeed. Annie, did he ask about the keys? Dad, was Nolan a swimmer? Annie, my opinion, they were jealous and they ganged him and left him there. Very possible. Dreamer, the interview wasn't good in my opinion. It was horrible, Dreamer. It was horrible. Annie, and it makes me sick. The other thing too is the idea literally that he didn't ask any of the crucial questions. He didn't say anything, and he'll probably say, maybe if he's smart, he'll try to clean it up on the next live. I think he's just doing different parts, so another one's coming out. But if I was their attorney, because he is lawyered up, Warren is lawyered up, to my understanding, along with his stepmom, who is a judge. If I was the attorney, I'd tell him, shut up and do not say another word. That's what I would tell him if I was their attorney. Barney, Casey, is that where I have him before? It would have been a long time ago. Never explained that. Never had the decency to ask that question. Why did you have the phone? Why not ask the question? Hey, Warren, there's been talk that apparently there was some deleted messages and deleted Snapchats. Do you know anything about that? Why didn't he ask them? Why didn't he ask them that question? Because that was big in the case, right? Why did he not ask him that? You know why? Because he didn't want to incriminate him. If in fact he did do it, and I'm not saying he did, I'm saying if, in my opinion, if he had done it and he said no, he'd been incriminating himself when they end up finding out that maybe it was him. You see? So what you do is you don't ask that question because you know it's going to incriminate them one way or the other, in my opinion. And now you also ask the question, did you have his phone? Why wasn't that asked? Why did you have his phone? Well, who's most likely to be able to literally delete something if they want to? Someone who has the phone. Hey, Nolan, or hey, Warren, did you have his password by any chance? Because they're saying somebody got into the phone. Did you know his password? Why didn't they ask that? Think about it. Why didn't they ask about the password? Somebody had to get into his phone. If he really didn't know it, he said, I have no idea what his password is. Or everybody knew Nolan's password because Nolan was just a trustworthy guy. You know what I mean? Deb, I would be asking the answers if it was my friend. He doesn't seem to doing that. Exactly, Deb. Annie, yeah. And why did they delete his phone? Don't make sense unless you don't want things to be seen. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I'm telling you, folks, I'm telling you, I don't care if you are in Myrtle Beach, if you are in Fort Lauderdale, if you are in California, La Jolla Beach, I don't care where you are at. If you are going out and you are literally out there enjoying yourself, in better lack of words, and this was 4th of July wasn't it Saturday, 4th of July? So if you are out there on the weekend and you are hanging out, you are vacationing. You're taking a step back to relax and have a good time with your friends. Okay. You are going to be taking pictures. He said, I never saw anyone with the phone on that island. Really? Because there was supposedly a fight with somebody about give me my damn phone. Give me my freaking phone back. Remember that? Give me my freaking phone back. And there was a fight. Some were saying it was Nolan. Some are now saying it may have been Nolan. It may have not. It may have been a kid by the name of Tristan Shepard. You know? What's up with that? Why would he say that? No one has their phones out there. Really? Somebody obviously did because they were fighting about it or arguing about it or yelling about it. They do, Dreamer. Every one of these youngsters takes pictures of everything and some, without a doubt. Well said. Well said. Click that like, everybody. Click that like. Subscribe if you are a subscriber. Be a Devil Pup investigator by being a member. Let's get it, everybody. Whiskey. I just want the truth. Why does that have to be so hard? You know, Whiskey, you know why it's hard? Because in this case, one way or the other, the truth could end up putting you in the slammer. And none of these young people want to go into slammer. Now, do I think that they did the unaliving? I don't know. I have no idea. Do I think there is so much circumstantial evidence that they were not literally, that was not addressed? Absolutely. You know what I mean? So the idea becomes, why wasn't those questions asked? Why did you have the phone? Remember this. Why didn't you have the phone? Why did Jax have his keys? He might be able to answer that. I don't know. Why didn't you tell Mrs. Wansley that you had his keys when you had a chance? Okay. Were there narcotics on the boat? Were you guys using drugs on the boat? Just a simple yes or no. But he doesn't want to ask that because he doesn't want to incriminate him. By lying and then it being exposed later, he's lying. He's automatically going to be guilty. And if he says yes, then everybody's going to say, well, where'd you get it from? So he doesn't ask that question. Doesn't ask that question. Well, where did you guys get the alcohol from? I know everybody drinks, because you guys are young and party and this and that, but where do you get the alcohol from? Never once asked that question. Why? Doesn't want to incriminate him. You see what I'm saying? It's just common sense. For me in law enforcement, my background, it is very much common sense. It is very much common sense. There's a reason why you don't ask certain things and why you ask certain things. There's always a reason. Why was he looking for people using phones? Yeah, why would you be? You're out there party, you're out there talking about, you're all drinking, everybody's drinking. Do you really tell me that that's on your mind? Hey, I'm going to see who's all out here with their phones. Let me see who's out there with their phones. That's a very good point. Very good point. That's an awesome point, Deb. They're all drinking. They're all supposed to be having a good time, and he's going to be focusing on who has their phone. Really? I didn't fall off the dummy truck, everybody. Neither did you. You guys didn't fall off the dummy truck. Gather all the phones and check them all out. I bet there's more pics on the videos. Now, here's the other thing that really bothered me. In the whole time, he talked about when he first got there, he knew a lot of people. He came with a lot of people. He knew people from college that he went to and high school and friends and older people that he knew. You know, he knew a lot of people. Did they ever gather all their names? Did he put out a list and say, here you go, Sheriff. This is a list of the people that I know for a fact were there because, you know, I saw them there or I talked to them there. And anything to help find who could have done this to Nolan if something happened with Nolan like this. Did he do that? Did the sheriff ask him, can you write down all the people that you know that were there? We don't know. We don't know, but I wonder if they were asked that, if he got all that information. Dreamer, they don't stay in the water for hours either. They get back on the boat off and on. Exactly. He made it sound like they were going to go snorkeling or, in my opinion, or go scuba diving, in my opinion. I mean, he made it sound like that because he was like, oh, they're not going to have their phone out in the water. Like they're going to stay 24/7 on that water. No, you're going to go in the water. You're probably going to get your hair wet. Or you're probably just going to be in there at maybe waist or shoulder, maybe waist high because they were close to the edge. So maybe waist high, if that. And you're just going to cool out in the water. That's what you're probably going to do. That's what most people do. And then they're only out there for a little bit until that sun starts beating on you. And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to go back on the boat in the little shade, or I'm going to go over there. You don't just stay in the water. You don't. You know, you just don't do that. So he made it seem like, oh yeah, this is normal. Not. Hey, I can tell you, me and my family have been on many vacations, and I can tell you, from every vacation we've been on, that phone is with us 24/7. Pictures are being snapped at every moment. Why? Because you want to have memories. You want to create those memories. You want to be able to look back and go, man, I remember this time. Me and, Susie and Bill and I and so, we all hung out. We had a great time. Remember this? 30 years from now, guys, remember this picture? Everybody does it. So to act like you're just going ahead and just like, oh, no, makes no sense. Makes no sense, everybody. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the live. I really do appreciate you all. Thank you so much for all the ones who supported the channel. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for everyone that was here. Thank you. And for Chris, make sure you subscribe to his channel if you can. And also know that we'll be on at 5 o'clock p.m. I'm not sure what we'll cover, but we will be on at 5. If you got any questions by now till then, just, let me know at 5. And like I said, thank you for anybody who's new that subscribed. Thank you for anybody who has come into the live stream and become a member or a subscriber. I appreciate all of you. On this channel, we all have opinions, and everybody's opinion matters. And it matters because you all matter. The more people we build this channel, the more opinions we hear, the more we're all going to become smarter and better for it. That's why I want to see this channel grow. So with that, everybody, God bless you. Thank you, L. Thank you, Casey, Photon, AJ. Thank you so much for the kind words. Great job today, as always, DD. Thank you. L, appreciate you all. God bless you. Bless everyone. All right, everybody, remember this. It's all common sense. And it's all common sense, and you all have that common sense. That's what makes the channel great. It's all common sense. Semper Fi, everybody. God bless. See you later, Tarek. See you at 5.